By the way, for anyone that's watching this on YouTube, we're currently live and this is happening in the moment. So be a part of this experience with us. I have no idea what is happening.
What I understand the main thrust of was into one of Colleen's detractors, specifically Johnny. Was that the main thrust of the video?
Of this new video, yes.
God, she's so pretty.
Swoop Swoop has been doing a Colleen docu-series, and a part of that was that she did interviews with a lot of the victims, and in her quest to gather all this evidence and all these stories, she noticed inconsistencies and
to say the least
occurring with one specific victim who we did speak to on the show.
Right.
And I'm here to present what it is she found. And I really encourage everybody. It's 4 hours, but I really encourage the watch. She works so hard. Her team works so hard.
Olivia's giving mother here.
Again, I do want to emphasize, we'll put the link in the description because I think we're going to be doing our best to kind of summarize, but it is a 4 hour long video. So appreciate their work. And, you know, if you have nothing going on in your life, feel free to watch this. No offense.
And if you've got everything.
No offense, Swoop.
Nar.
Yeah, we love that for you.
Here we go.
It's only a little longer than an H3 podcast.
Literally.
Okay. Say that.
Like that. Sometimes we do.
God damn it, Dan. Why you fuck you have to say like that?
That
so
was...
Let's put it in the description. Let's put it in chat just to send it love.
All right.
That was a good one.
Right now.
That was a good one, Dan.
Said,
all right.
and a big thank you to Swoop. Now, the reason I think it's important to talk about this is because if this mainly regards her ex-husband, Josh.
Yeah, Joshua Evans.
Who somebody
Shout
came
out
on the show and made accusations against this man that he's a groomer. And so if there is evidence that counters that, I do feel that it's our responsibility to show that evidence.
And I'm glad that people have this attitude because I know there's a lot of people who have platformed Johnny and they're all kind of in a hard place right now. I think this is the best thing for anyone to say, which is, you know, we now know the correct information and we will correct it. I think that that's the best thing that you can see. And I did see that Olivia and Josh reached out to each other.
We're trying to reach out to Josh. We're hopefully...
Yes, we made contact publicly on Twitter. He saw my DM. He said he'll get back to me. So hopefully he's willing to.
Josh said, I'm booked and busy. I'll get back to you when I'm ready.
Sending the signal.
Yeah.
Please, with peace and love. Okay, so go ahead, Olivia. Olivia.
Uh-oh.
Swoop
Oh my God.
titled her video, "The Devil in Colleen Ballinger's Shadow."
Now, can I just...
I'm going to cringe.
I want to put out a disclaimer.
Nothing against Olivia or anything, just seeing
I know
myself.
that this is all about Johnny bending the truth, fabricating stuff, whatever. I just want to temper our language a little bit about Johnny.
Yeah.
I want to encourage people to not... I mean, this guy at the end of the day is a private person. Or, well, he came out publicly, right? But he's just a dude. And so,
He's been
no matter what
a
he's done,
content creator
I don't
for a
know yet
while. He's been a content creator for a
how big
while.
I'll be or not.
He's been a
want
content
people to
creator
know,
for many
Do
years.
not mess with this guy. Okay, let's temper our language about him and the reason I say that specifically is because he is just a normal dude. He's not a YouTuber.
He doesn't have a platform.
Wrong. He
Exactly. So
been uploading for
got to
years.
be careful with this kind of stuff. I mean, he's still a person after all. And so, well, with that being said, let's go ahead and venture forth. The Devil in Colleen Ballinger's Shadow.
Yes.
That's a pretty heavy-duty title.
Agreed.
I said,
So.
Ethan, that is wrong about Johnny. Don't worry,
This
he's
is
been uploading
Swoop,
for many
Spanky
years.
Valentine. We stand Swoop.
What's her name?
Spanky Valentine.
Is that her real name?
I don't know, but I know that that's her Instagram.
So the Swoop is her channel name,
Yes.
and her stage
God, she's
And
so
her
fierce.
name.
Is Spanky Valentine.
Spanky.
Swoop is a documentarian on YouTube whose ethos is it's not drama, it's dangerous. So she covers serious topics. She's very candid about the fact that she is a survivor of domestic abuse and sexual grooming. So she works very closely and intensely with her subjects and those she's interviewing. And
Does a fucking amazing job at it.
How much she cares about all of it. And she has a team who helps her to put together her research and everything.
She has 600,000 subs, so she's a pretty, good-sized channel. But this video is 4 hours, and a lot of people are watching it, man. 1.5 million after 4 days.
It's a lot of
really
fucking
good.
work, and it's incredibly
significant.
done.
I'm just curious what kind of other videos she's putting out. Went to the worst nail salon. Glam and Gore. I didn't follow that one. This is already her fourth. Oh, no, this is one from 1 month ago.
Also, a quick correction about Johnny. He does have a YouTube channel.
Let's go.
Where he's been making a lot about this situation right now. He doesn't have a huge platform, but to correct the record, he does.
Let's go.
A YouTube channel.
Oh, he has AK subs. Okay. He's not he doesn't do this for a living. He's not.
I think he's trying to.
he's trying to.
Yeah.
That might explain.
Olivia with it. He's trying
All right,
to.
so we stand Swoop.
Queen.
Yeah.
She swooped in and stolen our hearts.
100p.
That's why we call her Spanky Valentine.
Do you have amber eyes?
I'll bet you she does.
Wow, those are beautiful hazels, actually.
We love those.
Or
in
I
this
meant to
house.
say hazel. I fucked
Stunning
it up. I fucked
hazels.
it up.
No, Amber
Take it
is
back.
S
Yeah,
tier.
it's close enough, right?
Let's be real. Amber is not as good as Hazel. It's just not.
Well, thank you for saying so as a hazel-eyed man.
I wish I was hazeled like you, but I'm ambered shit. Fuck. I have shitty amber eyes. All right.
All right, quick reminder. Who is Johnny Silvestri? He is a 27-year-old
I wish I didn't know.
young man. We had him on the show. He was a Colleen Josh super fan. He met them when he was 15. He would tiny chat with them. He would video chat with them. He told us the story of when Josh gave him his phone number. He wrote it down on a paper crown. We found out in this interview with Swoop that actually Johnny's parents were there when Josh gave him the crown, and they were proud of him for getting that and securing.
And he didn't mention that to any of
One
H3.
thing that was found.
I remember Johnny. He was the guy that went on touring with them.
Yep.
And he was very talkative during the interview. He had a lot to say.
Yes.
And he had beef with her best friend.
Yes, he accused Corey DeSoto of verbally and emotionally
And then he
abusing
accused
him.
Josh, her ex, of grooming him.
Yes, that was the most serious allegation of them all, is that he accused Joshua Evans of.
Very
And
talkative.
He even used the words in one of his tweets you'll see later. He called him maybe even worse than Colleen,
Wow.
which is
Pretty
very
heavy.
serious.
It almost implies something worse.
And also, he was not only very talkative during the H3 interview, I'm so glad that I wasn't there for it in theory, but he spoke for Becky and and Oliver. Like, if you think about it, he was literally being like, Becky thinks this, or Oliver thinks this. You know what I mean? It's like, you dominated the conversation. Yeah, like,
This is from June 7th.
I'm opening another Red Bull.
That was the first time he made an allegation that Joshua Evans groomed him.
It was in June
Cheers.
this year.
So I'll read it.
Yes,
He
it
said,
was.
I was groomed by Josh as a teen, and then they literally ended up doing almost the exact same shit he did to me.
The Josh
They're no
narrative.
different, and there's so much more behind all of this. It's over a decade of manipulation and torment from multiple sources, and that's just my story.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the first one that he had put out. So this 6-hour.
Oh, Jesus, the 6-hour call.
The interview that Swoop held with Johnny. So after their interview, Johnny went public and was like, Swoop and I just did a 6-hour interview. Wow, wow. And apparently he was like parading this around and like talking about how important his story was because of the 6 hours. Like Adam had talked about how, actually, I included that link later. So,
He didn't realize he was being like deposed,
no.
because it sounds like that's what was happening.
There are many clips that I include later.
Well, he wasn't being deposed in a way. Swip was actually interviewing him, and Swip didn't do the 6 hours as a way of exposing Johnny. Swip had to interview him for so long because he kept lying and talking in circles. But at that stage, from what I know at least, Swip was not planning on making this. It was just trying to get Johnny to fucking answer things. So it wasn't really like a deposition or anything. It was just that Johnny was lying about everything.
Yeah. So she said that she would pick up on inconsistencies. So if you go to the next slide, I have
It
the
sounds
first.
like this interview was in fact a disaster for him.
It does sound that way. Yeah.
Here we go.
Not
so
Trent.
here's one of the inconsistencies.
Trent is such a
in the
jump
first
scare.
Link, that was an interview that Swoop held with Johnny via Twitter. There is audio of Johnny saying that he was in fact groomed by Trent Ballinger.
That's weird because we were talking about it and he never mentioned that.
Right.
Which, if he was, he doesn't
Right.
need to be forthcoming about it.
Totally.
Although here, so I'll watch this link.
Someone who's willingly accusing anyone of grooming that easily is so scary.
The reason I've personally known that Trent Ballinger has been an issue for so long is because I was groomed by him. And honestly, it took Oliver's story to kind of wake me up from that situation as well.
This was further backed up by a tweet Johnny made on June 17th when he explicitly calls himself a victim of Trent's. Now, here's him discussing Trent Ballinger.
Wow, okay, interesting. So he just...
Like, someone is so dangerous to be able to say that about someone and then be like, but I love them, and then be like, they groomed me, or they're my abuser.
That Swoop was able to piece together came out in this doc that came out a couple days ago.
So when did this interview take place? Because this tweet's from June 17th.
July...
So this
I think it was like July
before.
2nd, because she called to clarify with him. The date was...
I don't even know the dates.
My point is, this tweet is from before the phone call. He said, I want to point out that even last week, I still was trying to defend these people, and I didn't realize. I'm glad Oliver came out with
July
the story.
8th. How do you know that?
Honestly, to help me realize
Was
I
that
was a
said?
victim of Trent's as well. And I was still being persuaded to believe in his innocence. Interesting. Okay. Should I keep watching, or is this it?
No, you should click on the other link.
Okay, and then we'll go ahead to this one.
And then this was during their 6-hour interview.
With Trent, I feel like our conversations were inappropriate in the sense that he was talking to an underage child, but I don't personally feel like Trent really crossed any boundaries with me.
And followed that by saying this.
With Trent, I had a weird dynamic with Corey.
Oh my god, someone who is willingly able to lie like this is terrifying. Someone who is able to say that that was my friend, and then someone interview them and then turn around and say that they actually abused me is, oh my god, this feels really weird because I was never going to do a reaction to Swoop's video live, but like I'm kind of having to do that now. Flip-flopping about abuse is scary.
He groomed me. So that level of inconsistency is a little concerning just because you really need to be careful with an accusation like that.
Yeah.
To just...
But also, why would you want to lie about an accusation like that?
Just walk it back, just, subtly.
Right. It's dangerous.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, very.
Especially when there are people whose stories are...
Oliver's, for example,
that's what I'm getting at.
gnarly.
It's like, I don't know. Oliver's story is just as important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, of
Yeah.
course. So, should I keep watching that link?
And it was never a competition of who was, more
Also,
important. Oh
after
god.
Those quotes about Trent, he also posted screenshots that Trent had reached out to him, people coming out, and he was like, "Don't worry, Trent. Like, I remember the
I
good
just
times."
cringe
Like,
whenever it's like
it
whenever
was
I
an
watch people
interesting
talking
text to
about
see.
me.
Is that next?
No, that's an off. He tweeted that out when a
He
bunch.
tweeted a picture of a message they had?
Yeah, they were both of age. I can pull it up for you if you want it.
Yeah, because Trent is like the straight up...
Okay, while they're talking about this, the impending fear of knowing they're talking about me now. The Oliver thing is just like the fact that Oliver confided in Johnny and then Johnny stole that story and then was apparently a victim of Trent as well with no proof, and also going on the record saying that you love Trent and Trent's like your brother, and is so terrifying that with every single person that Johnny befriended, he stole something from each person to be the ultimate victim. And I'm actually going to make a deep dive into this, but I watched a documentary called The Person Who Wasn't There, The Victim Who Wasn't There, and it's a 9/11 documentary. No, you don't talk about 9/11. And it's about Linda something, who is the fake victim of 9/11, who pretended to be a victim of 9/11 and took things from each individual's victim stories and became the ultimate victim. And it's literally Johnny. Like, this woman stole things from each individual person and then put them all together, so she was the top victim. I'm gonna do a video on that.
Swoop alleges in her doc that Johnny told stories about
Cat hair.
himself when in actuality Swoop knew that those things had happened to Adam. And so that was concerning to her. She also said that Johnny would get timelines so wrong to where she had to really go back and question it. Like, he would say that Adam was a part of the Tiny Chat group, but Adam would have been 10 years old when that was happening. And so Adam says in this doc, that is not true. I was not in Tiny Chats. I was not old enough yet. I wasn't in the fandom yet at that age.
Tiny Chats? Is that just like an old thing?
That was the video chats that he was telling us about. It's like Skype.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then at one point in the phone call, he said that he did bully Adam on the Tiny Chats. In another, he said that he didn't participate in the bullying of Adam. And Adam is like, I wasn't bullied because I wasn't in Tiny Chats. So that was just an inconsistency that she picked up on.
I see. Okay.
But why is he lying about that? Why is he lying about possibly bullying me or not?
The Trisha one is, this is the guy who's put out.
Yeah.
Although, so this part's weird because he's the one that was like, yeah, Colleen used to make fun of Trisha's body to me. And then he showed receipts, but the thing that's confusing is that Colleen basically fessed up to it.
Right.
Because Johnny did it too, but Colleen still did it.
But okay, there's inconsistency.
Let me write that in.
Right. Well, so Johnny was of age when he was sending nudes of Trisha back and forth. We knew that already. In the first clip,
I just commented because Colleen still did it, even though Johnny did it too.
He would participate in the unsolicited sending of Trisha's nudes. So instead of what he was saying, which was that Colleen would just out of the blue send Trisha's nudes, he said to Swoop, I would look up on Google Trisha Paytas nudes and I would send them.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Right.
True.
He's just a kid.
He did not, if you go to the third clip then, he told Adam that Adam, when he came out with the fact that Colleen had sent Trisha's nudes to Adam, Johnny was like, you need to clarify, Adam, that you participated in the bullying and that it was inappropriate.
What?
Yeah.
All right, let me watch these in order. I want to see all the clips you pulled.
Okay.
If I'd find a photo, I'd follow Trisha. So if she'd post something publicly, or sometimes I would literally just go to Google and type in Trisha Paytas nude. But
yeah, he wasn't a kid. I was. He wasn't.
Body shame Trish. I will say on one account there was something that was nasty of me that I said in regards to her body.
Yeah, Johnny.
In my opinion, I assume this is what they were doing. They were being catty, but he's a nobody. Colleen's Trisha's friend, you know? He's just trying to fucking be cool with his...
So once Johnny put the screenshots up of when Colleen would send Trisha's nudes, he censored them in a pretty not helpful way. It didn't
was
really
super embarrassing to
much.
Trisha.
The emojis used were meant to be funny. So in the second clip, you'll see the real reason why Johnny took the screenshots down. If you remember on our podcast, you asked, and he said, I think that they served their purpose, so I took them down.
But it's also super interesting to note that Swip said in the documentary, there were so many things that Johnny said and claimed that he did on his own accord, but it was actually me, and he went on to h3 and bragged about making those decisions, but it was actually me telling him to do it.
She was just this untouchable public figure to me.
Does that make it okay? After hearing this, I wanted to ask Johnny something important. I'm curious to know, at what point did you have the realization that the sending of Trisha nudes was inappropriate?
I mean, again, it's... I know he's like, how old is he at the time? Yeah.
Over 20.
He's over 20.
Yeah.
First of all, I know it's fucked up, but I do want to emphasize when he's talking to his idol and she's sending him.
Yes.
It just
there's
makes
a
sense
power
that
dynamic.
he would participate. He would reciprocate.
Yeah. But keep watching that clip.
Keep watching.
I mean, something always felt wrong, morally, deep down. But I think I was just more excited over the fact that it was a way to create a bond between me and these people.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not going to get into body language shit. We will leave that to Observe and the behavioral panel. But I do find it so uncomfortable that Johnny is grinning ear to ear while he's saying this. And he continues. Well, when do you think that maybe it was in the...
Oh no, he's got the spittle collection.
My mom said that
Talk too
too.
much. I had a math teacher.
My mom brought this up.
I'm so paranoid about this happening. If
My mom almost couldn't watch
You
it
ever seen a spittle?
because
You know
of
what?
that.
Going to be on your shit.
No.
Oh, really? Although now
Not
that-
really.
Huh? No, I was saying I haven't seen it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but just be emphatic. Don't say not really.
Well,
That leaves open doubt. That
I
there's
know
spittle.
there's going to be a post on the subreddit now.
Nope.
Because you brought it up of some episode from like 3 years ago.
If
and
there's
gonna
a
be
picture
fat
of-
fucking tonsil stone on your lip.
Nasty.
Ted Cruz style.
Tonsil stone.
I love the little Kermit in the background.
If you see a white dot on my lips, it's discoloration. It's not spittle. Guarantee you, because I'm on my shit. I had a math teacher. He would get the gnarliest.
I've never heard the word spittle. Okay. My response to him saying about like he gets why Johnny was doing it. I'm gonna wait to see if he changes his opinion when he hears a little bit more. We'll see. Spittle does sound so nasty. It sounds awful. It sounds awful.
Oh, Johnny. Of all the things you've done, this is the one I find most offensive. Not the spittle.
The last couple of years, did you have a moment where you were
That's all I
like,
can focus
you know,
on.
That's it. That's the only thing that's
I'm
there.
like locked in.
All I hear is
All-
wow, 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 wow.
Scared of
Spittle,
the
spittle,
spittle?
spittle, spittle, spittle.
Is it gonna do a
I'm
trick?
not hearing
you think?
anything.
Any tricks?
looking back at the nude photos thing and you thought, that's actually really wrong?
Watching Trisha's video, the difference between her and Colleen.
I know that Johnny is probably freaking out at this because Johnny was gloating everywhere publicly and privately that he was going to be live to so many people on H3 at this time. So he's probably freaking the fuck out now.
I felt the authenticity, and I felt
He was so excited about it, and he was even more excited that I wasn't going to be there because he was going to be the one that could hold the mic down. Becky and Oliver didn't get a chance to speak.
Trisha is a victim in this story.
Oh. The text on screen is a note from Swoop says, it took me over 20 minutes to try and get him to consider taking Trisha's pics down. Right. Mm-hmm. Which is good. I mean, listen, if you feel bad about it.
Right.
Spittle's still there.
Right, it's still there, dude. 20 minutes later, man. Well, at least it's not bigger. 20 minutes talking?
It's true.
The consistency is there.
Wanted to ask if there might be a time where you might consider taking those tweets down now that they kind of have served their purpose.
Some of them did get taken down. That is actually why I was put in Twitter jail. Because of some of
What the fuck is Twitter jail?
He was locked out of his Twitter account.
She said, I do not believe this adult man is at all sorry for exploiting Trisha. I mean, okay, I mean.
I think we should be focusing more on the fact that Johnny is a near 30-year-old man. Like he's like 27 or 28 or something.
But again, my blaming in this situation is really not falling on him. That's my opinion.
Okay.
You know? And
I think he could have censored them.
What was, don't remember. Was it?
It was like a tiny little flower over her. Like you could see what was going on. It was invasive and it was weird.
And he sent this in like a group
He
chat with
posted it
kids?
publicly on Twitter
okay.
to show that Colleen did send these photos.
So you think he should have blurred,
I think he should have censored them a little bit better.
censored them better?
At least.
Oh, God. Why did you do this, Cameron? Cameron,
Just the strong image that came to mind.
why would you do that?
I don't know.
No reason.
Goblin mode activated.
It's a spittle fucking rapids.
Doesn't exactly look
Nasty.
like spittle.
Or vampiric. I mean, what the hell, man?
I googled rabies dog. For that.
Okay. Okay. What's the I got a good chance of surviving, I think.
Rabies?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I did not fuck my dog.
Okay. So we're done with this clip.
Yeah.
So he should have was he getting shit for not censoring it? Because I mean
I think people felt weird about it, but I mean, people were more occupied with the fact that like this proved
it happened.
Yeah.
Because it is good that he shared that, right? Ultimately.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it was an important piece of evidence in the Colleen thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the criticism is that I can see him not censoring it enough, but maybe he could have erased it and censored it and re-put it up, or Or I see
Sure.
that he just erased it. I don't know.
He left one up.
He left one up.
Yeah. For himself.
Okay.
And then if you want to watch the third clip, that's where Adam explains that Johnny told him he had to make a distinction between the fact that he was involved in the bullying, but Johnny was not.
Like, angry that this is the second time on this call with you today that I'm saying a similar thing where he has told us both two different stories. He told me, oh, well, what you did was really bad, but Colleen used to just send them to me and make me really uncomfortable.
He told you that
I'm gonna
you
hold my opinions for a
did
bit,
something
just kind of.
bad in that situation.
He told me that I was the one being inappropriate, whereas Colleen was harassing him with them because me and Colleen, and I'd said this on the record, it was our in-between bet back and forth, right? I was 14, she was whatever, 30-something, it was 14, 30-something. And Johnny said to me that basically I was acting inappropriate and he was being harassed by Colleen sending them to him, and our stories were different. So if I was going to go on the record with it, I had to make that distinction. So that makes
my
me
gosh.
so angry knowing that not only
Sorry, I just don't like watching
the other
myself.
one, but this time that you were told a different story than what I would.
Somebody's
actually
saying in chat
legitimately
that the controversy was that he came on the next day and acted like he's the one that chose them to delete them out of the kindness of his good
Yes.
heart.
Right.
That is true.
So he's being misleading there.
Sure. And he also did use Swoop's words on the pod. She said,
It
"Do
served
you think
its
they've
purpose."
served their
Right.
purpose?" And then he
That's
said
a little
to
sneaky
you-
because he's basically
So basically, that Johnny is using Swip's words and bringing them and presenting them to H3 as if they're his own, and then getting credited for it.
So, next.
But now what happened here? I didn't understand.
Oh, okay. So basically, it was just that like Swoop was told one story, which was that he would get the photos of Trisha online as well and send them. And then he told Adam that he would not do that. And that because Adam would do that when he was a minor, though. But Johnny was not a minor. But because Adam would
I
do
mean,
that,
shout
he
out
had to
Olivia
say
for
that
keeping
in
it on
video
track.
when he talked about it. About the fact that Colleen would send them to him.
So they were both trading Trisha nudes with Colleen
Yeah.
separately.
Yep.
And then
It's just her thing. I
he
guess.
was saying, Adam, you are fucked up for sending these to her.
I don't know if he was that,
Or just to
obviously, but
paraphrase.
yes, he was saying, Adam, you're fucked up for sending them back to him. I didn't do that, so you have to tell people that you did that,
Oh, okay.
even though you were a minor and I wasn't.
Okay. I'm gonna watch this again.
Okay.
This is 4 hours. I'm trying to condense.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Take your time.
I want to make sure that. Okay.
Like, angry that this is the second time on this call with you today that I'm saying a similar thing where he has told us both two different stories. He told me, oh, well, what you did was really bad, but Colleen used to just send them to me and make me really uncomfortable.
He told you that you did something bad in that situation.
He told me that I was the one being inappropriate, whereas Colleen was harassing him with them because me and Colleen, and I'd said this on the record, it was our in-between bet back and forth, right? I was 14, she was whatever, 30-something, it was 14, 30-something. And Johnny said to me that basically I was acting inappropriate and he was being harassed by Colleen sending them to him, and our stories were different. So if I was going to go on the record with it, I had to make that distinction.
I see.
So that
Oh
makes
my
me
God.
That's crazy.
He got it.
Right.
Okay, I understand.
He got it.
So when did this conversation between him and Adam happen?
He got it.
Logically.
In between the allegations and
It took a minute, but we got there.
the interview. So end of June, early July.
Okay, so this is a recent convo.
Yeah.
So Johnny went to Adam and he says, we both been exchanging nudes of Trisha with Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is I never sent it.
He's got it.
And I felt like Colleen was sending it to me and harassing me.
He got there.
So you need to admit that you're worse than me because you were reciprocating
See, he got
as a
it.
child.
Yes.
Gave him time and he got it.
And so he comes out looking better.
Yes.
Even though on paper, Adam's a child and Johnny's in his 20s.
There you go.
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
He got there in the end.
This one is people are saying I don't have the context. I don't know. I mean, listen.
I separated everything in a way that I think it will make sense at the end.
Okay, guys, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure it out, you guys. And I see lots of I'm too high for this. I'm trying to untangle it for you guys as much as possible. All right, so we've seen enough of this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, then Swoop touches on Johnny's delusions of
Thank you,
grandeur,
Olivia, for this
where
screenshot. Appreciate it, babe.
expresses to Swoop and tells her a story about when Johnny told him that his story was more important than Adam's.
Okay.
I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch my clip.
And he was talking to me about how emotional this was going to be for him to make, and I was like, well, of course I'm going to support you. I specifically remember telling him, like, I'll watch it on my Twitch, and I'll re-upload it to YouTube, and I'll redirect everyone your way. Like everyone needs to hear you. Like, yours is equally as important as mine. And I remember his response to that was, or even more important, was exactly the words he said, and it will always stand out to me. I ended up doing that with that video. But he mentioned that he always wanted to speak about Josh. And the reason I didn't say anything was because me and Josh had talked privately before, and we talked about things, and it wasn't my situation, so I didn't really say anything. But his overall aim was to make this, to build an audience.
I think I was just so stressed to do this interview, and I really just had a really rough night. So, like, I just don't like watching my interview.
His story's more important than Adam's.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you get to the part where he said maybe even more important? I was typing.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Even more important, which is obviously pretty nutty to say.
Okay.
And then, I mean, the ultimate crime here is the Josh stuff, which is leading to.
That's the end of.
Yeah.
I put that all together. So then the second clip on this is Johnny.
But
saying
not everyone
that
understands.
He's pretty much saying that if it were sexual grooming, it would have been better, but because it wasn't, it's worse. Click it. It's really disrespectful.
Let's twist our minds around that.
And that grooming doesn't always have a sexual component to it or a sexual kind of end goal, that it can have different attempts at what it's leading towards. What do you think that Josh was grooming you for?
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. But never once did I ever feel like these people wanted to come on to me sexually or any intent to exploit me in any ways. No.
Yeah, so maybe this is a good time to address another issue I face with Johnny Silvestri. He used my own quote about how not all grooming is sex to make the point that to him, his non-sex grooming is worse. Johnny was made very aware on multiple occasions that as a child, I was groomed and repeatedly sexually abused for years.
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. People don't quite understand what grooming is, which is why I appreciated your breakdown of it in the first segment. I actually highlighted that and posted it on TikTok. It could solely be for power, which to me sounds so much more disturbing. I mean, sexually is horrific, but just for no motive other than power and boredom, that is almost more disturbing than having a very set in stone motive behind what you're doing. Because I cannot confidently say what Joshua's motive was.
That's pretty wild. He has a tendency to just prioritize his own story, his own experiences above.
I know, saying cut and dry about abuse is fucking disgusting and disturbing.
Like, yeah, I know you were like, you were groomed for to be essayed, but I was groomed for no reason, and that's way worse.
Right. It's like he has a monopoly.
That's exactly how it reads.
It's like it's very competitive.
Very interesting. Trying to profile him.
Right.
I do get the sense he's kind of just talking at this point.
Yes.
He's kind of just driving through the mist. Can't see much in front of him, you know what I mean? Like,
he's just talking like an Oppenheimer, right?
It's just like the Oppenheimer movie.
Right.
I just think with the way that he's so disrespectful towards victims of grooming goes to show how he isn't a victim of grooming. Because if you are and figure out what grooming is and stuff, because I didn't know what grooming was, people told me I was groomed before I really started to figure out that I was, because I didn't understand what the word is. You don't treat other people who have been groomed or have had things happen to them that kind of way.
If you go to the next slide, his comments on domestic violence were, or domestic abuse were not very sensitive when speaking
Johnny
about
is
Josh.
very aware now that Joshua has said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny felt it important.
Oh, this is the
to
clip of him
drag
saying,
him
"Why didn't
in
you
our
get out? Why didn't
interview
you get out? Even
for
though my
not
family begged you to get
proposing
proposed to her."
Colleen, his alleged abuser, soon enough. You were a grown man in an abusive relationship and you stayed in it. And follows it up.
Wait, hold on. So Johnny's on this warpath against her ex, Josh.
Yes.
This is what he said. My life was toxic. Me. You are a grown man in an abusive relationship and you stayed in it? Wait, you both abused each other? Wait. That's crazy, Tate.
Yeah.
Like, we're all, as a society, moved past these kinds of silly arguments about abuse.
I agree.
Like, oh, you stayed, so it's your fault. Like, we know you can't say that to a woman.
You can't say that
To anybody.
It's weird to me that nobody was. Did anyone say anything about this at the time?
I'll be honest, I don't remember.
I did not see this. He says, I know these stories. You didn't care about my life and my pain when you
This was around the time whenever I
disregarded me.
started cutting Johnny out,
I do remember seeing,
because this was
some
a
things that
couple
I was-
weeks before their
But
H3
a
interview.
lot of people, I think, they were trying to be really delicate and like not question.
But this is
because
also
obviously,
true.
like,
People
you
were,
don't-
yeah.
That's not really your first go-to. is
We
to
have
question.
no reason to think he was lying about
Right.
anything.
Exactly.
And I would never say that
Yeah.
without any reason. Sheesh, that's fucked up.
Right.
But yeah, this is a wild take.
Yeah. And if you keep watching,
He
says
seems
something crazy.
he seems frankly like he just has a vendetta against Josh. And
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because he was in love with him, in my opinion.
Okay.
We'll see. I
Okay.
have more.
So next.
Yeah. Oh wait, if you want to keep watching that clip, he does say something crazy.
Okay. Yep.
It. Johnny is very aware now that Joshua has said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny felt it important to drag him in our interview for not proposing to Colleen, his alleged abuser, soon enough. You were a grown man in an abusive relationship and you stayed in it. And follows it up
That's so
to
fucked
my
up.
face by saying this.
He actively chose to remain in this relationship.
Bro, you can't. That's like such a crazy take.
I know.
That's really weird that he would even like think that you could say that. Is it because he's a guy? I don't know. I feel like you would know you can't say that to a woman.
He had so many outs. He didn't propose for like 9 years. Why?
Bro, what?
Yeah.
This is crazy logic, brother. Oh, jeez.
Why did you enter a marriage that was so toxic if you knew it was so bad?
Bro,
you must have
what?
wanted
You knew it
something
was so
out of it,
bad.
and it bit you in the ass.
Yeah, like probably a
No,
partner.
he fucked around and found out. Hit play.
Love,
Hit play.
family.
Hit play.
And he's saying all of this.
They just cut it at the "you fucked around and found out" part.
About her experiences.
She seems to be very, aware of how, people say shit like this to downplay others' experiences.
Yeah. There's one more line I want you to hear.
This
Thank
thing
you,
is, like,
Olivia.
so archaic. It's like what you would see from like Fresh and Fit
Right.
when talking about a woman.
Yeah. It's shocking.
Yeah, it's bad.
He fucked around and found out. And
What?
I don't.
You did not just say that.
That's not even the line I wanted you to hear.
That was the line I wanted you to
did
hear.
not just say that he fucked around and found
That was
out.
the line I wanted you to hear.
He was. You fucked around and found out. That's what you get. Mm-hmm.
in the ass. He fucked around and found out. And now he's just upset about it.
Dude, what?
Couldn't you apply that to him with Josh? He is so in love with Josh, and I think he still is to this day.
Obviously, what he's saying is horrific, but at least no spittle.
No spittle. He's clean.
Johnny not only shamed Joshua for not proposing to Colleen soon enough, but he also shamed him for not leaving soon enough, stating that an alleged domestic survivor, quote, f***ed around and...
But also, how is Johnny smiling and laughing throughout all of this interview? Because you're talking about such serious, triggering topics to you, but also just in general. I don't understand how anyone can sit there and smile and laugh. Because let me tell you something. Whenever I did that fucking interview, that was not what ever crossed my mind.
Sorry, fellow survivors, but according to Jonathan Silvestri, I guess we all f***ed around and found out.
At this
Yeah, that's like... I don't even think Fresh and Fit would say something like that.
No.
They
Like,
definitely would.
yeah, like, oh yeah, I beat her. Why did she marry him? She fucked and she got her ass
She would.
beat.
I hear it.
Yeah,
Like, imagine this.
He's probably said exactly that.
Imagine this. Let's flip the script and then pretend Fresh and Fit said it.
Yeah.
Let's say a football player's girlfriend, he beats her up. And then they're like, listen, she decided to marry him. She fucked around and found out.
I agree, but I also just
surprised
think
me
in
that
any
it's
context, it's
to where we talk
horrendous.
You know? It'd be like, I can't fucking believe that they said this, but they're Fresh and Fit. They suck.
Yeah, we're still questioning if Fresh and Fit would say that.
I think
they
so.
definitely would.
They would. They're like, she deserved it.
Yeah.
They'd probably be
I feel like we've watched that clip.
they would probably be like, listen, I don't know what she did, but she definitely deserved to get her ass beat. Which is frankly like just a little less slick way of saying what he said. Kind of.
Right.
You fucked around and found out. Wow. I'm just trying to put myself in his mind where he thought like this was the right thing to say.
To put yourself in his mind, he thought that anything he said would be appreciated because he was living for the likes and living for the views and living for the anything. And all he wanted to do was talk to Swip for as long as possible so that he would be included in the episode for as long as possible. And he ended up exposing his real opinion of things because he's not a victim. So he is someone who's not a victim, shaming other people who are victims of something he's not even a victim of.
Some people actually do have the theory that, like, he was
in love
there taking heat off of Colleen because he didn't have any serious allegations against her besides like some weird things she would say on tour and the fact that like she didn't stand up for him with Corey. So that is, I don't really think that. I think that they're
That's
not
not
associated
why
anymore.
he was doing it.
Yeah, but that is something that's living on the Colleen Snark Reddit.
I mean, I would see
Or
it
the
I would
Johnny
see it
Snark.
the other way where it's like Colleen is already buried. So now let's focus people on Josh. I wouldn't see it as like I'm trying to get heat off Colleen.
I mean, that's a fair point, but Johnny was focusing on Josh from the start.
I don't care that he was a victim.
What? Bro, I know the shit he says right now is crazy. Right now it's crazy.
I guess his point of view is that he victimized me, therefore he deserved it. That's next level. Yo, you're next level, bro.
I guess we all f***ed around and found out.
At this point, I don't care that he was a victim because we're not talking about that story anymore. If he wanted to talk about that story, he had every opportunity in 2016.
Bro.
Okay, wait. Okay, let me unpack that. Josh.
So there's a time limit, y'all, even though Johnny, you know,
2015.
took time to talk about it, which is
Joshua
completely
and
normal, but there's a time limit for everyone else.
Okay.
So he's saying, if you were abused by your ex-wife, you could have talked about it then.
What did he mean about 16?
2016.
Oh, 2016. Again, like another classic Survivor attack line.
Right.
Which is like,
It's fucking disgusting.
the proof that you're lying about this is the fact that you waited this long to talk about it. He's hitting like every Survivor fallacy there is.
It's also interesting because a lot of the stuff
Because he
that
doesn't
he's
take Survivor
allegedly
seriously.
talking about took place years ago also.
You're right.
So
Why didn't you talk about the Trisha thing until now?
what do you stand for? I'm having a hard time.
These are bad opinions.
Right. These are bad opinions.
I just don't understand how he could miss the point so hard, because he's like so involved in what everyone's saying, what everyone's talking
But
about.
it never happened to him, and he doesn't
knows
care about any of us.
the
He cared
right
about the
way to
attention and the
handle
views.
someone who's making an act.
No real victim would talk like that about other victims. Oh my god, Swip just subscribed to H3. Look.
Johnny,
Hey, Swip. Swip's in the chat.
boy.
Yeah.
What's the story with Johnny Appleseed? Was he a real guy?
Appleseed?
I think he was
Johnny
a real
Appleseed?
guy. Yeah.
I think there was a real Johnny
Swip is
Appleseed.
seated.
I don't think he's like a Paul Bunyan situation, you know?
But there was a dude who spread his fucking apple seeds. And his
They
name
taught
was
about us
Johnny.
in kindergarten, right?
So
it
he's
must
like
be true.
he's like
There's
Johnny.
a statue of him here.
I always
my
loved
cousin
Johnny
Heights.
Appleseed. I thought that was such a cool.
Do you think that Johnny Apple?
Move.
There's probably some dark underbelly to the Johnny Appleseed
story. He was.
You know what I
fucking
mean?
kids, for sure.
Like all of those kind of.
Should I button that?
Huh?
What?
Should I button that joke?
I didn't hear
Oh,
it.
I didn't even hear what you
I
said.
said he was fucking kids.
Johnny Appleseed.
I mean, he's not.
I mean, we don't know. What,
He may have
the
been.
Johnny Appleseed.
I just.
estate gonna sue us?
I was feeling in context of the conversation. Maybe it was.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But I think it's
Johnny
too late.
Appleseed's,
I
like,
think we're
long
too
gone.
late.
Show us.
Johnny Appleseed's real name was John Chapman. He was born in Leominster, Massachusetts, 1774. His dream was to produce so many apples that no one would ever go hungry. Okay, this guy's a saint.
That sounds lovely.
Although legend paints a picture of Johnny as a
I need them to
dreamy
shout out
wanderer,
Swip immediately.
planting apple seeds throughout the countryside. Research revealed him to be a careful, organized businessman who, over a period of 50 years, bought and sold tracts of land and developed thousands of productive apple trees.
My seed is all
That's
over
badass.
this place.
Swip,
Did he sell the
we
seed? Did he sell
love
the
you.
apples though? Is he just a shrewd apple salesman?
It sounds like this is corporate propaganda in a way.
This
Like the
man
whole
just
Johnny
made a
Appleseed
killing selling
myth.
apples.
Yeah.
That's like calling Bill Gates Billy window seed. He just wanted everybody to have windows.
Oh my god, Nightmare Bliss.
nation.
Well, anyway, my point of this whole tangent is that
I know them.
Johnny here is like Johnny Appleseed, except instead of seeds, he drops terrible takes.
Swoop just became a member.
Hi,
Hello, Swoop.
Hi, girl.
Hi, girl. I hope we're doing you proud.
Yeah, like people are saying I'm not having the full context, and I understand, right?
We'll get there.
That's
So,
what we're here to do.
We're
I changed
untangling
the
it.
We're in
order
the-
a
we're
little
in the
bit to try
process.
and make it make more sense when I was telling it in a shorter form.
I'm understanding
Thank
now.
you.
But
I'm
again,
happy.
I just want to encourage people to go watch her whole vid.
100%.
Ethan's on best behavior now. The Swip's in the chat.
Isn't there a Johnny Appleseed song?
I'm sure there is.
That's a badass
I don't
life
know.
goal, though.
I don't know one.
My seed is all over this place.
Johnny Seed be like. All right, back to Swoop.
Okay.
I'm not even going to waste my breath explaining how absolutely disgusting
That was
it
the
is
line I
to
wanted you
shame
to hear. He could have talked about it in 2016.
Dude, that's nuts. I mean, that's basically being like, no, Nazis are not that bad.
Right.
Like, it's that level of unself-awareness.
We're gonna stop
Yeah, it's just
dissing the
it's pure
Nazis all the
ignorance.
time.
It's very confusing.
Like, yeah, I mean, the Nazis did some stuff, but they built roads and stuff. Like, the fuck? I'm not saying he's a Nazi, for the record. But wouldn't be surprised. No, I'm kidding.
All right, and a bombshell was dropped in their
Oh, shit.
6-hour interview.
Oh, Swoop said, thank you, Ethan, Olivia, and the whole H3 team for covering this. Thank you, Swoop.
Thank you, Swoop. Thank
We
you for
salute
everything
you.
you do.
So there's a bombshell coming up?
Yes. So Johnny
Oh, shit.
lets it slip that he was in group chats with minors
There it is.
as well.
There it is. Of course. Why wouldn't he be?
Colleen.
No, on his own.
Colleen, but we also find some things out later.
Okay, let's see.
Grooming. People love to misconstrue. I'm
That's
sure.
inappropriate. Zach. Nobody? Okay. Play it again, Zach.
I thought it's inappropriate.
Johnny,
I was kidding. It was a joke, but I guess it missed. It missed.
Because Johnny was so prominent in the fan base and he worked on Colleen's tour, Johnny actually built a little fan base of his own.
Really?
And he had a
Yep.
Johnny's apple seeds.
he had a Johnny fan.
Yo! Because he was talking about Corey's
Corey's clits.
Corey's clits. I mean, that is pretty disgusting.
Right.
Have not heard that group chat name in a couple weeks. It's been lovely not hearing that. Corey's clip.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Right.
Not good.
No. The more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Fuck me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like, oh no, Johnny was in DMs with minors. I was. I'll be the first person to say it.
Bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, what?
Oh, okay.
Why?
So
are
that
you
makes it
doing
okay.
this? You're burying yourself.
Fucking hell.
Bro. She talked to his ass for 6 hours.
I think, yeah, because he just kept going and kept talking and telling on himself.
She's pretty slick. That's what they do in depth.
Someone commented, he wants to shout it from the rooftop. Yes, I talked to minors! Because he admits it, so it makes it good.
Getting like a mentally what's the nice word?
Neurodivergent?
Yeah, like a neurodivergent.
Watching H3 live is a whole new level of stressful. It's uncensored.
Without a parent involved.
That'd be crazy.
You know, that's what the police like to do. But in the depositions, I mean, I've only done it once, but I know what the strategy is. They fatigue you for 4 hours, and then they come at you with the really hard shit the last 2 hours.
And your brain's
And it
fried
is
at
true.
that
Like,
point.
when that happened to me, you get fatigued. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But she held this shit together for a long time.
He
And
did.
look at him. He's spilling like the Titanic. Does Titanic spill?
I don't think.
I mean,
Sure.
they had the safety.
They took a spill.
I think it's important to note that Swip wasn't interrogating him for the purpose of exposing him. It was 6 hours because Johnny didn't answer anything, not because Swip was trying to get to the bottom of his lies. Swip was trying to give him an open conversation to answer, her questions, but Johnny wasn't answering them, so that's why it went on so long. Swip was not doing an interrogation. It became one whenever he wouldn't answer.
Actually, watch this.
Yeah, yeah.
Opinion, legitimate grooming.
People love to misconstrue. I'm sure if they're gonna be like, oh no, Johnny was in DMs with minors. I was. I'll be the first person to say it. I was in the group that originally was a Colleen group chat that I had been added in. My friend, who I am not friends with anymore, overtook that and created the group where he decided to start grooming teenage girls on the internet.
So,
there were also
pause it.
chats.
Just like he was.
Probably should have
We're
kept
not
that
going to the
to
next slide
yourself,
yet, but the
my
next
guy.
slide is about that friend. That friend's name is Tim, and they were best friends for a decade. And in that decade, they were in group.
Tim
chats.
Connolly has now been added to the
Johnny
H3
alleged
lore.
That Tim groomed those kids, and also Swoop said that it's to remain anonymous, but she and her team think that actual legitimate grooming took place with Tim in those chats.
So Johnny was in a chat with minors, with Josh, Colleen, him, his homie Tim. Everybody's grooming, not Johnny.
Oh.
Everybody is grooming.
Olivia's given up. Yep.
Let that first clip play.
Chat rooms or DMs that I was added to during tour. And it was tricky because I didn't want to be in DMs with a bunch of teenage girls. Like, I was, confident in my sexuality. If anything, I want boys, men.
I wanted to be in a group.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What am I gonna
Uh-oh.
do with girls?
Uh-oh.
Look at that face it paused on.
I
by
know.
The way.
What the fuck is
I
happening, dude?
choked when I heard that the first time.
He wants boys.
He's really just. Did
Uh,
someone give him a truth serum or something?
What did Swoop do?
This man is sinking the boat.
Yikes.
Listen, my friend was grooming girls, and that was.
But I want boys.
That was like,
because I want
can't.
boys.
I don't want to fuck girls.
Right.
So that's why I went and made my own chat with minor boys.
Crazy.
I got to go back and listen to that again.
And, because I did DMs that I was added to during tour. And it was tricky because I didn't want to be in
this
DMs
is
with
just-
a bunch of teenage girls.
Because at first
This
I was
is
like,
such a slip up
okay,
of
'cause you were
words,
an
which is
adult.
so interesting
And,
as well.
It felt
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a
But
slip
that's
up of
actually not
words.
to take. That I didn't even know that there was a fork.
It's a
Just
slip
like
up
the
of
other
words.
take, I couldn't even conceive of,
Yeah.
which is
Like, I was, confident
The
in
smile.
my sexuality.
Confident in
If
my
anything, I want
sexuality.
boys, men to be in my DMs.
Why are we marrying sexuality with the idea of group chats with minors?
But also, why are you using Colleen Ballinger to try to get some
Because
dick
he's like,
from
The only
boys?
reason anyone's in these group chats is try to fuck somebody.
Self-report.
To be a stan of somebody.
Self-report.
To own it, I guess.
Wow. That's crazy.
As a reminder, John, when he was on Colleen Ballinger's crew back in 2018, when he was a 22-year-old man, would
the end of that clip I wanted you to see. If you want to click the next one,
Okay.
Johnny, based on his own definition of grooming.
Woo! That's the sound of the police.
Because Johnny is
maybe
like
a little bit.
he casts the grooming net very broadly,
Yes.
sounds like.
Yes.
And actually,
That's a good point in the chat. They said Johnny
If you
made it
ask
sexual. Johnny
one
made
where, you
talking
know,
to
well,
boys
why would
sexual
they
with
make
what
it
he
the
just said.
Right, that's the worst one.
So let's see, maybe he's the worst offender of all.
Older, which I know is a tricky topic too, because some people are like, I was 21 and in a group chat with 17-year-olds, and it's like, calm down, you're fine.
Calm
The
down,
issue
you're fine.
Is the power imbalance that these adults had with us children.
Just as a reminder, Johnny, you had a power imbalance with your underage fans.
Okay.
Cause of Colleen, yep.
So
Who are
that
these
bus
people?
They-
is
Johnny
Colleen
was
tour
us-
bus that he met fans.
They're doing
outside
the-
of. He
the
would do
alarm.
unofficial meet and greets.
They're
Oh, he
that
did.
literally proves Johnny's point.
So there was
And-
people. He had fans.
Pokemon's in
Yeah,
chat.
because
What the
people
fuck?
knew who he was because Colleen would vlog. Colleen did her shows. He was in the shows.
Not Pokemon. That's the Twitch streamer,
I
right?
probably knew who he was at one point.
Isn't that
Okay.
the Twitch
And
streamer?
then he's like, "Yo, I have my own little fan meetup,"
Is that Pokemon?
which is a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My guy.
Since it's Thanksgiving,
I always
wanna
see her
say
in
I'm super
drama.
thankful for
What's
the
up with her?
wonderful People I've met on here.
What does she do?
I met my best friends in the whole world, and some amazing.
But anyway,
people to look
Johnny was literally using to talk to these kids the fact that he would leak stories about Colleen.
really young. These girls.
This is Johnny with his fans.
People are saying she just gets dragged into drama. Okay. I know how that one's like, babe.
Today, me and Sammy met.
People,
Johnny
men
for the
just hate her
first
because she's a
time
woman streamer.
and
Oh,
immediately
okay.
stand him. Don't even know where to begin. I honestly don't know where my life would be if I hadn't met Johnny, and I'm so beyond thankful for him. I can't believe it's been a year since this amazing yada yada.
Yeah. So if you want to go to the next slide.
Here, I'm just gonna keep watching. Oh, then here's Johnny DM'd me. So he reached. Okay. Let me ask this question in context of this whole situation.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Can an older person have an appropriate relationship with a minor, like at all? Like, let's say Josh was reaching out because he wanted to mentor them and he wanted to take care of them, and Johnny is apparently talking to them for the same purpose. So, but then somehow it always devolves into grooming.
Swoop discusses that. She talks about how dangerous it is to cast such a wide net in terms of the definition of grooming.
True.
And, let me remember what exactly. She says, like, based on your own definition, any adult speaking with someone underage is grooming.
Right. And it begs the question, I mean, is this relationship ever appropriate?
Right.
Because, I mean, it is important for kids to have role models and people to look up to. But maybe that intimate.
But it's when that's
connection is
taken
not
advantage of and
appropriate. I don't know.
abused.
Yeah, and maybe not talking about adult
Clits.
subjects. Yeah,
Corey's clits,
with
Johnny's
13-year-olds.
apple seeds.
Yeah.
Dude, chill, man. Talking about kids, man. That dude is out of pocket. I mean, personally, from myself,
I cannot even tell you, just a little bit of insight, how much Johnny would be fuming. I know he is watching this right now, seething, because he was bragging behind the scenes, like I said previous, about the fact that h3 would be covering him. Like, bragging. I have no idea how he is reacting to this. Because once he found out that he could get h3 to cover it, he was like crawling after Olivia on social media and crawling after Ethan. And that's why he started posting the Trisha things, because he told me that it would be a way in to talk to h3. Like, Sheesh.
Big Brother programs and stuff, they're not grooming.
Well,
They're mentors to them.
That's tricky because teachers and people like that, they do that.
Right. But it's also different when it's someone that you watch online and you're a huge fan of.
Right.
True.
There's that mystique.
Yes.
It's a difficult question. I'm not sure what's the right answer.
Either.
But
I think
know
it's
that
important
if
to have
anyone pushes it
conversations.
Far, I mean that's weird. Like to actually, I don't know. It seems weird to me.
If you go to the next slide.
Next slide.
So people
You got it.
began posting on the Colleen Snark Reddit about Johnny and possible allegations regarding him. And due to the Colleen Snark Reddit rules, which said, like, you cannot disparage any of the victims coming forward, they were taking them down. The mods were taking them down, which that makes total sense. So then...
Shout out Colleen Ballinger Snark.
Those people went and they started a new one called Truth About Johnny. And...
Johnny has his own Snark subreddit?
Yes, he does. So let's talk about what was brought to light.
So see, Ethan, he is a public
Where did these people
person.
come from?
The Colleen Snark Reddit.
Oh, they didn't want the Johnny Snark.
Because the rules in the Colleen Snark Reddit are that you cannot disparage any of the people coming forward speaking against Colleen.
Okay.
They actually have a pretty good mod team.
Which is smart.
Which is smart.
So now we got Truth About Johnny.
Yes. So things that Swoop reveals right now in her video is that Johnny was in group chats and video chats with minors for the entirety of his 20s. Johnny identifies
and still in group chats with them until a few weeks ago, by the way. I'm aware because he added me to one. I've not written it though.
Story of Josh mentoring him.
The worst type of grooming.
Yeah, I mean that's what they say. That's what Johnny says.
In his words.
Yep.
And so something that Swoop also mentioned is that directly following
added me to one. Yeah, I have not written it.
About Johnny Reddit, apparently the
Swoop has all the information. I gave it to her. Yeah.
Claiming were Johnny's victims all reached out to Swoop right away. And she said that to defend Johnny. So and Swoop was like, that was concerning a little bit.
Huh. Okay. I'm reading interesting comments because I'm genuinely curious about what people think about like the adult.
Oh, tell me.
Minor connection, because I do think it's different than when I was a kid because there was no social media. That connection was just not made. But I can imagine how weird it would be if a teacher was in my DMs.
Yeah.
And abusing the fact that was your teacher to get you to do things or something like that.
I'm trying to think of that kind of relationship. Because he's an adult who holds some authority.
Yeah.
And the more we talk about it and try to figure out our stance on it, allows people to understand if it's happening to them and learn to deal with how to end that in a healthy way.
Okay, whatever. Thank you. So I'll watch. Let's see.
Video chats. Johnny had his own superfans. Johnny built relationships with a number of minors for years. Johnny.
Where did they get this footage from?
The Truth About Johnny Reddit.
So there's people in Truth About Johnny who were.
And Swoop was in contact with some of the people in Johnny.
They all contacted Swoop, yeah.
So deep. We're in like the 10th layer of hell right now.
I know.
It's
just like bad people breed bad people, I guess. I honestly, I will never get it.
We're like 10 chat rooms deep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But no, so somebody in that saved an image of it? Yeah. What the
Well, I mean, when you're doing something fun as a kid and you're talking to your idol or whatever, you're going to document it.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good point. The reason all of this is documented is because people looked at Johnny as a celebrity, so documented all of their interactions with him.
Broken and adults.
Yeah, Johnny being your idol is like the depths of hell, but he was.
Super fans. Johnny built relationships with a number of minors for years. Johnny promised people he had left these group chats after his employment with Colleen ended and lied about
Not true, by the way.
Johnny has spoken to these fans publicly and privately and had secrets.
Dude, somebody's got mad receipts.
Johnny just loves attention.
This is way more receipts than Colleen or Josh or...
Got the hair.
No, in terms of like the chat room stuff.
I guess.
This is like 20 different chat rooms.
That's true.
I mean, okay.
I mean, we have a lot on Colleen and
I don't mean,
Weenies, to be fair.
receipts and-
No, in terms of like visuals.
Yeah, and visual, like
Okay.
someone record, like documented.
Yeah, they got
so
his
many of
ass.
these.
With them for years. But on top of all of that, Johnny has given his fans so much attention, both publicly and privately. He's very committed to keeping the specifics of those relationships a secret. At least 2 of his fans had the immediate reaction to try to get me to keep parts of this story a secret.
Programming, manipulation, tactics, love bombing, words of affirmation they use towards people when they're in sticky situations that make these people feel
Everything
good
he
and
did.
inclined to go online and fight for them.
So I just want to ask a very simple question. Based on Johnny's very own flexible definition of grooming, as well as the actual definition of grooming, who in the story I'm telling today fits the bill on both? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Girl, you know the answer.
Yeah.
He really put himself in the corner. Yeah. I mean, he spent this whole time being like, everybody's a groomer. Damn, bro.
It's just if you
a little
know,
self-awareness.
Yeah, that you're involved in all of this shit.
Dude is a stalker, groomer, enabler, and liar. Mm-hmm.
He came out, dude. He did this to himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
He
like
came out and he just wow. So what was that she kind of glossed over? People he used to talk with
Here, if you go to the next one, that's
came and said, don't include.
I mean, when you're not watching the 4 hours, of course it looks like she's glossing over it, but
was that the Reddit was alleging 3 victims, and 2 of those people messaged Swoop right away.
Victims of what?
Victims of being in minors, being in like video chats when they were minors, and like in group chats when they were minors with Johnny.
The worst form of grooming.
According that's what they say. That's what they say.
yeah, it's all using his words against him.
Okay. And so 2 of the
Rather than,
3
like, actual
immediately reached out to
definitions.
her
Yeah.
And said what?
Well, she didn't say exactly what they said.
She said they urged
She said they urged her to keep part of it a secret.
In the story, the
Well,
definition of grooming. Very
Good and inclined to run their antics.
of this story had the immediate reaction to try to get me to keep parts of this story a secret.
What I interpreted that as like they're embarrassed
Maybe.
and they don't want people to know.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that would be valid too.
Could mean that they're trying to defend him. I don't know. It's a little cryptic.
Yeah. So the next slide is about Tim Connolly. This is Johnny's ex.
I never thought I would go on the record speaking against him. But the fact he was brought up by Johnny.
That he would host group video calls with his minor fans.
Tim is the worst. You have no idea. You have no idea.
He would get drunk. He would encourage them to drink.
No!
And he would teach them about sex. He apparently still hangs out with minors, his minor fans to this day. And Swoop says that it had to remain anonymous, but her team thinks that he is an actual predator based on things that have been shared with them.
We're talking about Johnny's bestie.
Yeah, Tim. And then those video chats, Swoop found out that Johnny would be present for at least a year. He was on those video calls with his friend Tim as recently as 2020, which is when he was 24 years old.
And then is Tim getting access to these minors via Johnny?
Well, he was a prominent person.
Tim is so fucking disturbing. You have no idea.
It's like the Catholic Church.
Bro, it's crazy.
At this point.
It's crazy.
What is this photo too? Like what the
Something
fuck
that Swoop says.
Come
I
on.
know, right? I don't know.
Jesus.
He's giving him the choir boy mark.
Yeah.
But Swoop
girl.
does compare Johnny to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Swoop compares Johnny to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Wait,
Yes.
who's the
And
Epstein
so
in this?
And
Tim
Epstein is Tim.
Is Tim?
Yes.
This kid?
Seems- okay.
That was the comparison.
It was such a shocking watch.
He gets him leads.
Yeah.
Yo, this whole Colleen empire is crazy.
Fucked up.
And you got Tim Connolly down at the bottom
Yes.
having drunk parties.
This part of the video, I encourage you, if you're confused, you should definitely go watch. Because Swoop she did so much work. It's crazy.
Swoop just commented and said Johnny posted that he would bring Colleen's fans to
That's
Tim.
actually good because the next section is the Josh section, and then we're done.
Okay, be right back.
Oh my god, Ethan's gonna pee and so am I. This is amazing.
Take a brief
I'm gonna pee as
intermission,
well.
I suppose. There was an event happening on the.
I have something to show you. Okay. So you know the way I'm currently like packing and stuff for moving to Manchester? I have this, which is a friend's Lego set that I never opened because I know that I am going to start. This isn't an ad. This is sponsored. This is not sponsored. I bought this and I knew that I was never going to be able to complete it myself, so I never started it because I was like, it was like £80. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna start building this and like not do it. So what is gonna happen is my head moderator, Suha, got it, who's one of my best friends in the entire world, lives quite close to Manchester, and she's going to come over and she's going to build it for me. So now that I know that she's excited to build some Lego, I am going to use that to my advantage. And I was told her, I was like, oh, well, there's like other ones that I, want to build. Like I really want like there's like a Disney castle that is huge. And I was like, oh my God, like I know that there's this Disney castle. And she was like, is this your way of, you wanting me to build it? And I was like, no, you don't have to build it if you don't want. So I was like, you can come over and we can have like a glass of wine and we can build it. And she was like, I can build it. And I was like, yeah. So there's that.
It's not easy.
All right, so we are talking about Tim. Oh, this is just, that's it.
We're done talking about Tim.
Do we have any receipts about Tim? What do we know about Tim?
I'll be honest, I was a bit confused. I really encourage you to watch. He sounds like a horrible guy.
He is.
Who is a predator.
He is.
And talks to minors and still hangs out with minors.
Yep.
So Swoosh has more receipts.
Swoosh?
Swoop.
What did I say?
Is he eating a Baby Bell? He is so real. I love Baby Bells.
It was Ethan's fault.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Tim Connolly was inappropriate with me when I was a minor. I can go on the record with that.
Spoken with some of Tim's alleged victims anonymously.
Swoosh, swoosh,
So why aren't we
bish.
talking about Tim?
Another one in the basket.
That's the question.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right.
Why aren't we talking about Johnny?
Why aren't we talking about Johnny? Johnny?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the Johnny challenge where
now-
you went like this around your
Let's
fingers?
talk about Johnny's life-ruining accusations against Joshua Evans, Colleen Ballinger's ex-husband, if you don't know who he is.
Manchester, not New York.
Next
So-
slide.
This is the first tweet where Johnny accuses Josh of grooming him.
So this was a big deal.
Yes.
And I remember it kind of blew all of our minds because we're like, Colleen, her best friend, they're all in chats. And then when you learn like her husband too, it just all starts to get really bizarre. Johnny says, I was groomed by Josh as a teen. And then they literally ended up doing almost the exact same shit he did to me. Wait, I'm confused by the...
He's talking about, like, Adam's story. They did the exact same shit to me, he's saying.
But worse, remember.
They are no different, and there's so much more behind all of this. It was over a decade of manipulation and torment from multiple sources, and that's just my story.
So, there's that one.
Pretty cryptic.
Right. Then, Josh messages Johnny an apology. if you would like to read it.
When did Olivia get hired? Because I can't imagine H3 without Olivia. Like, wow.
To give his story credibility.
You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Okay. I was in the wrong. You felt abandoned or disregarded. That's the honest truth. I never would have done it. Oh, just for clarity,
Summer
Johnny's,
2021. Okay.
Final communication with Josh was that after the divorce, apparently his mentor, man who was grooming him, totally ghosted him and left him.
Okay.
So, I was in the wrong, Josh says. You felt abandoned or disregarded. That's the honest truth. I never would have done it if I fully understood how it would end up. Your heart mattered then, and instead of handling it...
Holy shit, Josh didn't even do anything to Johnny and got 4 apologies, and I didn't get even 1 apology from Colleen. You know what I got? A public video bashing me. Fucking hell.
Feeling like it was becoming unhealthy for your well-being and development.
Hold on. That's an interesting admission.
Yeah.
Our relationship was unhealthy for your well-being?
I think
because Johnny was so invested in it.
Does do a bit of investigating about their relationship and how close they really were. I don't, based on what Swoop has found, it seems that they were not super close.
One-sided.
I think that
fan relationship.
Josh is validating Johnny's feelings in this message.
And that's it.
I think that this was...
Josh didn't even need to send this.
Good. You know what I mean?
Good faith.
Yeah.
So it could be construed as Josh just trying to keep this kid who's showing a lot of interest in him at arm's length. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This doesn't erase anything that you felt or went through. I thought you were a great kid. You seemed a lot like I was as a teen, so it felt okay to befriend you. It wasn't okay.
Oh my god, someone donated and said shout out to Adam's parents. They're real ones. Holly.
You deserve a happy and healthy future, Johnny. I played a role in messing some of that up. My hope is that this apology helps you see that you were never in the wrong. You wanted a friend. That's it. I gave you the illusion that I could be that friend, which at the time I genuinely thought I could be until I began to realize that the amount of attachment that you were feeling.
So that's it. He's apologizing for, like, in a way, his bare communications leading Johnny to get so attached rather than actually leading Johnny on.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, I can see this, like, definitely, if we're being as charitable as possible to Josh, as, like, he saw this and he genuinely was like, wow, I didn't know that he was like, it was that serious, but I want to apologize.
Yes.
For how it made you feel.
That's what it seems to me, at least. And
also, he ends by saying, I genuinely thought I could be till I realized the amount of attachment that you were feeling.
And that's valid to say.
And also, I mean, it could be that Josh was responsibly keeping this kid at arm's length.
And we will see.
There's okay.
We'll see. So,
but the fact that Johnny published this.
Someone commented and was like, Johnny.
Basically, when we saw this, we're like, oh, everything.
Or someone said, Johnny's definitely messing with Adam's credibility with all this.
Like,
leave me out of this, babe. My story hasn't changed in 3 fucking years. Leave me out of it, babe. Leave me out of it.
So Johnny continues accusing Josh vehemently of being a groomer.
Not letting up.
Here he says, just as bad, if not worse, than Colleen. He doesn't get a free pass just because he's been doing everything in his power to save face. Joshua, after the divorce, left YouTube. He posted a few times, like, over quarantine and stuff like that, but he really ended his YouTube career with the divorce. So I don't know what he means by he's getting a free pass to save face.
Josh ended up getting a different job in the end.
Pretty disheartening. I don't forgive him. Well, yet, at least.
I want Josh to sue him so bad. Josh, even if you want to do like a crowdfund I will donate to that.
How dare you call me vindictive at Joshua after all you've put me through? How dare you? And Josh responds and then includes the attachment where he does call Johnny vindictive in their DMs. But he responds.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is being vindictive. The question is it warranted or not?
Correct.
It's not.
There's no question about it, right? Sometimes it's warranted. But so what Johnny does here, he says, just as bad, if not worse than Colleen. When I read that, I'm hearing that something terrible happened.
That's also what I assumed.
Because how could he be worse?
This person commented the same thing again. The same person. Johnny is messing with Adam's credibility. Babe, you've already commented this. He's jumped in on the hate Colleen bandwagon even though he's defending her. He just sounds better. What does that have to do with me, motherfucker? Leave me out of this.
I will not be silenced again. My heart goes out to you, Johnny. I also deserve to protect my new life. More.
Yes. So this is after the first apology that Josh sends. Now he sends, Johnny, I truly understand your anger.
Johnny didn't even respond to
I
it.
lost everything.
And Johnny was
It's taken
tweeting,
me
being like,
years and
not
years to
everyone has to
slowly build
accept
my
an
life back
apology,
up
which
from
is
nothing
true.
to something worth
But,
living
like,
for.
Josh didn't
I
even
never
owe
once
you
had
an apology.
intentional malicious intentions back then or now. My apology was sincere, not perfect, but sincere. The internet isn't my life anymore. It's not my job. I have a quiet little life and have been working so hard on myself to be okay after all the trauma I personally went through. He dealt with alcoholism and is now sober. Congratulations. Death threats, targeted bullying. For
Congrats,
years.
Josh.
They even went after my little sister. I lost a career and my self-worth. I was suicidal and dragged through the mud for so long. That doesn't negate your life and how you feel. And I'm not saying this to erase your experience. I just don't understand why you choose to go this route toward me specifically. I never went after you or anything remotely close to that. My divorce, my parents' sudden divorce, the alcoholism took over my life. I didn't want to live anymore. I'm far from perfect, but man, I'm trying.
So once again, I'm assuming that Johnny posted these. And it seems like he's not responding to him either.
Actually, Josh posted this publicly.
Oh, Josh posted this one. Okay.
Because at a certain stage, Josh apologized 4 times.
Okay. You'll see the next one he does publicly and is just like, I'm just going to do this publicly to remain transparent. I want everyone to see it. So then he said, what they did to you and to me was absolutely terrible. I played a part, but not to mold, control, or abuse you. You may not see that right now, but I'm doing my best to speak honestly. I should have reached out to you earlier. I was experiencing my own trauma and barely made it out alive. I don't say that lightly. It's just the truth. After years of suffering, healing, and growth, I'm here trying my best. I finally crawled out of such a dark place, a place that almost killed me. I'm human, Johnny. I didn't do things the right way at times, but I never intended to hurt you, ever. My entire life went up in flames in more ways than I ever want to divulge. Why try to burn it down all over again?
Like, he's being so transparent
I
here.
definitely feel like what he's saying is true about himself.
Yeah.
But I also understand how tricky it is for Josh to tell all this to Johnny when you're assuming that he's in good faith, sharing his experience. How do you approach that? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Someone said, Adam, I'm sorry, but what is your reason for staying in the Johnny chat? I assume you're saying about the group chat Johnny added me to. The reason was because I had all the evidence to then send to Swip so she could include it in the documentary, which she did. So?
That was inappropriate. I shouldn't have asked you to tweet on my Sarah.
Oh my god, like the 4th apology from Josh and I. Holy fuck.
Those are inappropriate
Right.
relationships.
It felt harmless.
No, you're
and
fine,
I
don't worry.
understand now that was a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes back then. I'm so sorry for ever making you feel disregarded and tossed to the side. My life was toxic and chaotic for a long time. I was toxic. I was chaotic. You were young and needed consistency and protection. I did not give that to you. Your pain is real. Your healing journey is real. My hope is that I can help remove some of the burden by acknowledging your experience and taking accountability.
And keep in mind, after the H3 show, Johnny privately and publicly was like, oh my god, now we're going to be doing the toxic Joshua train. All he wanted was to platform on every platform the spew against Josh. And once he found out he could get it on H3, and once he found out he could get it on H3 when I wouldn't be present, oh my god, it was like Disneyland for him.
People were like, people didn't really know because we didn't know what Johnny was
people
alleging.
were probably telling him to fuck off.
I'm sure that there was a countless.
Josh was getting told to die
I
after
remember
these.
just being very confused.
Because he keeps apologizing, so you're assuming something.
Yeah.
But he's apologizing for it being interpreted, and that's not being shady by being like, I'm sorry you thought it was, but it's valid.
Joshua groomed me with Colleen. I was 15 when this all started. They double timed me. I was hit from both
One could
sides.
say you were
The
both at
OG and
Disneyland.
They all saw the strange dynamic.
Clever,
The
clever.
more that comes out, the better you'll understand. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah. And then if you want to watch, the link on this is just like what he proceeded to do when he went on a bunch of different podcasts.
So with all of
and
that
told the story.
context in mind, let's look at what Johnny proceeded to do. Over the course of the following month and a half, Johnny made YouTube videos, posted on TikTok, held Instagram lives, and every day he tweeted many, sometimes even dozens of times about Joshua David Evans. He vented on the H3 podcast, in my opinion, manipulating Olivia, Ethan, and Ela, who have done tireless.
That's us.
Hey guys.
Hi, us.
Hi, guys. You look so cute.
Best
The
show.
H3 podcast or the H3 podcast.
That's right.
Work to try to
Ethan
cover
does the
story
same thing
and
I
support
do.
the victims. He told his story to me as well, and he reached out to Lily and Jesse of the Do We Know Them podcast, asking if they would like to interview him. Look, Mom, I'm on a podcast.
Not a great vibe.
So if you go to the next slide.
Now, during this time, Johnny was suspended for 24 hours on his new account. He was banned from his previous Instagram account and has now been...
Okay. Next one.
So
The bell is ringing.
after Swoop's 6-hour interview with Johnny, she reconvened with her team. They met. They talked about everything. She this photo.
I love it. No, I'm just more the graphic.
Thank you. I did.
Swoop's
I did.
calling.
Swoop calling.
Why is Swoop giving mother in this photo?
Would you answer?
That's mother.
Swoop's
Swoop's
calling.
calling. You
I'd
picking up?
answer.
I'm not getting on a call with Swoop for 6 hours. You're going to turn my life upside down.
Destroy your life.
I'll be like, man, that was a great call.
That was an incredible call. Okay, so
Can you imagine?
So blindsided.
I was just gonna say this.
so in this
Wow.
The fact that he got off the call and he was like 6 hours.
she knows that
'Cause he was
in
confidently
those
saying
chats
it.
with kids. She knows.
Second call.
Yes,
She
this is a
confronts
second call.
him.
This is yes.
Mm.
She is asking him. This is July 20th, 2023. She calls Johnny. She asks him what he wants to do about the fact that she knows these things about him. He responds to
first
her
access to live show tickets.
that
Is that
he
you
knows.
anyway? Thank you
What's
guys.
happening?
Oh, that's
Somebody,
your laptop.
Somebody,
That's
no.
me. Sorry, guys. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so
No. Go back.
yeah, I want to. Where do I?
Olivia
So
said,
he
"I'm not
tells
done."
Swoop that he knows that being in those chats was inappropriate and wrong. When Swoop asks him about taking accountability, he said that too much attention would be aimed at him and away from the Colleen victims. And then that's when Swoop decided she was going to make this.
Is there?
Swoop
Audio
said,
of it?
"I'll do it then."
It's like
So there is audio of this.
there is,
It's
and
just
I encourage you to
gotta
watch it. You'll,
Okay.
yeah. I'm consolidating stuff.
So in defense of himself, he says, "It's not about me; it's about them."
Right.
Essentially,
Right.
which is definitely a red flag, considering he's speaking so broadly about things that he's doing, and then when he's doing it, it's not a problem. Only when they're doing it.
Yes. So
Very interesting.
She asks him what he wants to do about that, and she also asks him for full transcripts of all of his messages with Josh.
Ooh.
Yes. After this call,
And everything Swoop was doing, by the way, is not anything that's like really bad. You know what I mean? Anything that Swoop is doing does not take away from her just wanting to get to the truth, because that's all it is. That's all it is. Like, it was Swoop wanting to get to the bottom of things, and it's like if Swoop's asking Johnny for so many things to do with like screenshots or anything like that, there's nothing shady in that. There's nothing inherently shady in that. That is Swoop getting to the bottom of a story. That is Swoop getting to the bottom of a story. And I won't let anyone use that against her. She was doing her due diligence. Yeah. Good research and journalism. Yeah.
It's so satisfying when you can for sure, this is the truth. This is the swoop.
This is the Swoop.
Because John, you compare them.
Yep. Side by side.
Slick. I love that slickness.
Me too.
All right, so I'm going to click the first link.
Yes.
Hold on, girl.
For his Twitter DM history with
Not he got
But I
swooped.
did.
About it. Nothing.
I didn't have to tell Johnny, but I did. And so when I asked Josh
She looks so
for his
pretty here.
DM history with Johnny, he sent me a screen recording from top to bottom of 20 total DMs between 2012 and 2016 when they
I saw getting swooped was added to Urban Dictionary.
Messages were from Johnny to Joshua.
I was like,
and
work.
the remaining 6 messages were replies from Joshua.
20? That's it? It's not a lot. Were they communicating in other ways?
No, this was like it. This
He
was
says that
it.
They were also texting, but Swoop poses. She thinks that this is either all of the messages that they've exchanged and the rest is public on Twitter, or they have very few texts.
Okay. I mean, if there was a significant amount of other communications, I assume one of them would have brought it up.
There are more
as
doctored
evidence.
texts.
There are.
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking at DM.
Why does his mind even go to doctoring or photoshopping fucking text?
Answering 2 of Johnny's questions, meaning Joshua only ever answered Johnny twice in 4 years. Once to a public question, Johnny
If you're gonna
asked him on
delete
Twitter,
text,
and
why
the
are you
other
going on
to
the
a question,
record
about a show
then?
that
You know what I
Joshua
mean?
was playing.
You're
The
just gonna get
entire
exposed for being a
exchange
fucking
also
liar.
began with Johnny initiating the conversation by telling Joshua that he was depressed and in need of guidance back in December of
One more time. How old is Johnny during this? Like when he says, I'm depressed. That's the first message you sent him. Is he a minor or is he
Let me make sure.
an
Is that
an
the
adult?
2012?
quote-unquote
Not
adult?
Ethan going adult.
Oh, I can pull it up. You want me to?
Well, I can do the math to see how old Johnny was because he's 27 now in 2023.
It says February 2014 seems to be the first one here.
Okay.
At least that she's showing. Or well, hold on. This is no. This is December 2012.
2012.
Yeah, December 2012.
So he was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's very young. Okay, that's good to know.
Screen recording from top to bottom of 20 total DMs between
how old is
2012
Josh?
and 2016 when
Josh
they had
was
stopped
almost 30,
speaking.
I think.
Okay, that's a big difference.
14 of those messages were from Johnny to.
By the time
People are
that
saying 18.
it was, well, that was by the time that they stopped talking.
So I was talking about in the
when
beginning.
they began.
He was 16.
He met them in person for the first time when he was 15. And then
Okay.
I guess they began on Twitter when he was.
Okay.
Joshua
Publicly
and
on
the
Twitter, by the
remaining
way.
6 messages
Publicly
were
on
replies
Twitter.
from
Tweets, not
Joshua
private
answering
messages.
2 of Johnny's questions, meaning.
Look how little Josh messages him.
Answered Johnny
If anything, this made me realize how much fucking Colleen talked to me.
To a public question,
You know what I mean?
Asked him on Twitter, and the other to a question about a show that Joshua was playing. The entire exchange also began with Johnny initiating the conversation by telling Joshua that he was depressed
Okay, he's 16 though. Like, let's, you know what I mean?
and in need of guidance back in December of 2012, which was.
Although it's a call for help, I guess I see the point. I mean, you know, that's, you know,
Yeah.
it makes it more likely that, you know, he's going to care and want to help.
Very upsetting and sad to see. I never want to see somebody depressed. Now, Joshua did not respond, which is not at all what I expected after talking to Johnny for 6 hours about this. I was expecting to see like tons of just back and forth message exchanges since Johnny said that they had a tight-knit relationship. Can you tell me about how many times you
How easily he
estimate
can lie
that you
is
hung out
fucking
with Josh,
scary.
in person?
Scary.
He would say stuff to me like, "Oh my God, come to California for my show," and I'd be like, "Are you serious?"
Didn't
He'd be like,
happen.
"Yeah, come on down." And I'd be like, "What?"
Didn't
Sick.
happen.
You can ask anybody. He would be like,
Can we
"Oh my
ask
God,
you? Will you
guys,
tell?"
We're gonna take over the world. We're gonna make it big together someday. This guy is so cool and so.
What he's saying sounds really fucked up.
Right. The second clip.
But also sounds almost cartoonishly
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We're gonna make it me and you
Yeah.
to the top.
He hesitates for a while after Swoop asks him the first time to send transcripts of his messages with Josh.
Selfless, like what?
And again, can I just bring mention to the fact that I would much rather, whenever I made my videos, put everything out there and you can pick what you want rather than having to like come at me for what you want to see, right? So in my video, I know Swip referred to it, and I was actually very grateful she did. You know, whenever I pulled up my Instagram and scrolled through everything, so it was like, Wait, what is happening? Remember whenever I showed everything? What is happening? Reading chat. Someone said we got rated. I can't see it on my end. Who rated us? Oh, thank you so much, Mallard Edits. Thank you, I appreciate that. I would much rather you saw everything. So I showed a bunch of messages that, were basically showing everything. They showed boring text, they showed exciting text, they showed interesting ones, they showed messages where I wouldn't respond to Colleen, they would show ones where Colleen didn't respond to me. I wanted to put everything out there, and I think it was important to put everything out there. And, I mean, you now have seen everything. It may have been a long-ass video, but at least you saw everything.
Exactly I was looking for, which I thought was odd. And I said that I wanted to see if Joshua said anything inappropriate in those messages. Johnny said, okay, and we ended the call. Then he texted me something weird. He said, can I see DMs if I blocked someone? Now,
just like buying time.
Do you happen to know if you lose your DMs with a person if you have them blocked? Right.
He already knew the answer to this, so we felt like he was maybe buying time, or thinking of a reason why he couldn't send them.
Or why he's going to erase some of them.
Right.
Exactly.
I was blocked at the time.
That was followed by, wait, never mind, and a few minutes later, he sent screenshots. But when I received them, multiple DMs were actually missing on Johnny's screenshots. That wait, never mind that
And this is just so bizarre to me, because if I had deleted messages between me and Colleen could have then came out and been like, oh, well, he deleted one message, which means that everything he's saying is not true. Don't give them that one up. I don't know why that's not apparent from the start.
The messages, allegedly.
Johnny didn't block Josh. Josh blocked Johnny.
Johnny Silvestri likely deleted most of his own messages, significantly altering his actual conversations with Josh, making
I think even after deleting them, it still showed that Johnny messaged Josh more.
Most of the time, it was Johnny sending messages with no reply. This is something that Johnny has chosen not to share with the public. Why? Now,
wait, is she not showing the ones he erased?
She does.
She kind of goes through it. It's not important. He basically does it to make it seem like he wasn't badgering Josh. It was a lot of like, hey, can I please talk to you? Hey, are you free? Can I talk to you? Hello.
Right.
It was a lot of that. If you go to the third,
because I was curious, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I kind of wanted to read through these.
Ethan, maybe you need to watch the video
of the DMs.
And
it's
this is supposedly all of the communication, or what about the group chats, though? Like, was he in
Josh wasn't in group chats, I don't think.
Josh wasn't.
In the group
I think
chat.
this is all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
This is all of it.
Plus their texts, which he admitted to Ethan that there are not very
There's
many.
not a lot. And if this is a lot, and then Johnny says the texts aren't a lot.
The third clip
there's
is
no
about the texts.
Did they meet in person?
Okay, so
Oh,
about
wait, so
that.
we have the text too.
Yes, we do. We have some. And they're doctored.
Right.
So
Fierce. I love her.
his family actually drove 9 hours to an auto show that Josh was doing to surprise him.
That is so fucking weird.
Filmed a video for Josh's channel where they're like all dancing the Harlem Shake, like his family.
So he didn't invite them.
No, they
just
surprised him.
Dancing the Harlem Shake.
Man, if my kid asked me to drive 9 hours to surprise an influencer, I'd have to have a sit-down conversation with them.
It literally is a stalker.
Yeah, no, he the two times
He was
they hung
stalking
out,
Josh.
It was like he surprised
I hope Josh gets a restraining order at
So
least.
just to get an idea, I'm kind of curious. Josh, how did you get through your high school years? I feel like I'm falling apart. There's just too much stress and I'm depressed. Now, this was blurred.
It's an email, I think. Maybe.
Okay. Here is Josh.
It is giving Joe from you.
Privately, the answer is no. I have a major opportunity starting in January. The auto show announcement will come soon.
20 total DMs between 2012 and 20.
Okay, can't wait to hear about it. Hey, I have some questions for you. I was going to surprise you and show up on Friday. Oh, so you did tell him about it. But I don't have an address. Well, it's not a surprise then.
Well, he was gonna surprise
16 when they had stopped
He
speaking.
gave him the
So he
address.
gave him the.
He gave
so
him the
he was
address.
clarifying about a show.
You're going, woo. Okay, so I mean, It's less weird.
And then a story that he told on the show was that he went to LA to a show to see Josh, and he came out to him there, and then he basically tells him, like, that's none of my business. Don't tell your parents.
I remember.
So he said that he was 17 when that happened.
Right.
Wasn't he like 19?
Right. I remember that was a big sticking point for him.
That's a big difference.
The coming out story.
Swoop clarifies his birthday and clarifies that that trip took place when he was of age.
Johnny says, yes, I'm going. I wanted to surprise you, but I didn't know where to go, so that could have failed big time. Roll.
14 of those messages.
God, he's such a stalker.
Half an hour, buddy. Hour and a half, buddy.
Are from Johnny to
I have a question.
Joshua.
What's the difference between me just making videos right now and me signing up to be a partner with a company like Full Screen? He's
the
just asking
remaining
YouTube
6
stuff.
messages were replied.
Doesn't answer. Hey, would you
No
be able to go
response.
tweet out after the show tonight? Even just go.
Yeah, he was pretending to be a minor in his Josh stories when he wasn't. He was older than 18. He was 19.
I need to talk to you urgently. Why would, if I was Josh, I would have just put this out and be like, I don't know what this kid is talking about. Because looking at these, this man was like keeping him at a responsible arm's length.
What it seems.
With Johnny, Josh didn't do anything wrong. I've thought it for a very long time, which is why I never platformed Johnny talking about Josh.
From Joshua.
That's what yeah.
Like, no. Keeping the answer short. Minuscule.
Yes.
He acting like an adult. Shouldn't have given him the number.
Right.
That was a mistake.
That was.
Okay, this is fucking real interesting.
The third link, it's all very complicated, but you watch Swoop do her, like, CIA figuring out.
I like that.
Yeah. I love that part.
Swoop's good.
One thing that's interesting for me to note is, like, first of all, there was not a claimant for Josh to speak up, and there never has been, so it doesn't surprise me that, Josh didn't post that. But by the stage that H3 did the call with the 2 victims and Johnny, by that stage, I was already talking behind the scenes with people about the fact that I was picking up on Johnny, and I had already spoken with, Josh and all these different things. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. A conversation I had with my mom was that if I was on call on H3 with, Johnny, Oliver, and Becky, and I was like, if Johnny started talking about Josh, like, I don't know if I would necessarily be able to stay silent, because I have privately spoken with Josh about this, that it would be very fake of me to not say anything, because Johnny compared so much whenever I wasn't there, the Josh and Colleen thing, that I'm almost glad that I wasn't there, because, like, I don't think I would have looked good. Because everyone was on Johnny's side, and I don't think I would have looked good. I think it would have turned into an argument where I would look like I wasn't believing a victim, and I think I would have been, like, written off. So, for better or for worse, I'm very glad that I wasn't there in that call, and thank God that my friend Kat booked Disneyland on that day.
Well, it's like he says that he found that text, and then that is, like, sparked something in Swoop. She's like, you found that text. That means that you have at least some. Because you said that you don't. So.
Right.
He asked me to run the account.
So when I asked Johnny if he could send me the text messages between him and Josh about the Saradiculous account, he sent me a screenshot of his old computer with...
I think your humor is awesome, and I don't have a lot of time.
Someone in chat said, I wonder if Johnny would have been different if you were there on that H3 call. I'm gonna be honest. Chat, let me know your opinion. How different do you think it would have been if I was on the call? I think that Johnny would have spoken for me a lot. I think that Johnny would have, because I'm not gagging for the mic. You know what I mean? I want to hear from Oliver and Becky, and I think he would have spoke over me, and I think I would have just kind of sat in silence, honestly. Yeah, I think Adam would agree with me. I think there would have been a lot of that. I think there would be a lot of Adam and me. I think there would have been a lot of Adam and Colleen, now me and Josh. I think there would have been a lot of that. And I wouldn't have been able to sit in silence, because that would really, really, really bother me. And I would know that he was lying, because I have for quite some time, and I've openly said that I would have then looked like I was blaming a victim. And I think it would have been a very, very, very bad look for me. So thank God I wasn't there. He would definitely speak over you and then ask for confirmation. Adam, you would have lost your patience. See, you know how like I act on these things. Like I would have really. Thank God I wasn't there.
You never even knew what this was.
No, I did not know.
If Olivia doesn't know what it is,
It must have been
must
minor.
have been very under the radar.
It's still very.
It's still weird.
Yeah.
It's
for
still
sure.
connected to him, though, right? People know it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's still his image, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. And,
If
like,
anything,
and
it
asking
just-
his kid to just work for you for free.
If anything, I just see Josh like actually the small amount of communication, so small amount from Josh, like, hey, here's the thing, here's the password, go work for me. It's like it's a little exploity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And but actually what's exploiting about it is like Johnny wants more intimacy. And Joshua is not giving him what he wants.
Right.
Only having him work for
But you
him.
could do this shit, yeah.
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 But it's
So
giving
if
him
anything,
like
it
hope.
shows a lack of intimacy.
It's giving him like a little bit of hope, though, right?
It's
I'm
leading
sure.
him on.
Yeah,
True.
I think so. And also, didn't he start working for them for real later, too?
He
He
did.
started working for
So-
Colleen after the divorce,
That's weird. After the divorce?
and he was of age.
Can
Yeah,
I speculate something?
Josh, he
Years later,
didn't
okay.
work for Josh
I
with
would
good
like-
money.
I would like to speculate something.
The round
Just hit
table
the
happening here.
button if it's inappropriate.
Oh,
Okay.
that kind of speculation. huh?
Okay.
But it seems to me that Johnny
Was in love
is
with
in
Josh.
love
Yep,
That is.
with,
Josh.
or I don't know, in love, but he's infatuated with.
I have a slide on that.
He was.
It does have.
I'm commenting that he was.
Like a
He's like,
one-sided
come meet up with me,
infatuation kinda
just
thing.
the two of us.
The
He came out to him, which I feel like was like, are you also? It was kind of
The
like
Johnny
maybe-
story.
I agree.
beliefs that theory that
That makes the most sense to me.
And
That
that
just,
makes
like,
that
See,
kinda
Ethan got it.
offers an explanation why it went so hard too. This is kind of like a scorned,
Ethan's got it.
acquitted
Yeah.
love thing.
there's if you want to
All
just
these
go to that
years.
slide now and watch that clip, that is like the most I can send
It
it
could
to
also
you.
explain why Josh was so weird about the coming out thing.
Maybe
Because he's like, oh God, is this.
is
Maybe what he said something like that he was interested in him, and who knows what happened in that conversation.
that's no
that's
it's
one
a
thing I
valid,
like.
Swip
it's a
asked me
valid-
a question about this that didn't air, and I said this exact same thing.
Did he respond to you?
And I said that the Josh coming out
Joshua,
thing could have had a
there's
lot of
one I would
information
love
left
to
out of
ask you
it.
about what happened there.
Swip asked me about that, but it didn't make the cut.
But didn't deserve Johnny. Yeah, the problem is, yes, that like you said, love, he is leading him on. He's not giving him romantic leading him on. I mean, it's possible. I doubt Josh even thought, oh, this kid is, into me. But he is giving him like hope
Yeah.
that their relationship can grow if you just do free work for me. It's pretty wild.
he's
pretty
not
inappropriate.
answered yet.
Josh, come on, dude. I know you're watching.
I mean, if he was sincere in that apology, it sounds like he's pretty out on being a public YouTube figure. He might have hesitation about coming on.
There's a little bit.
Oh, I
You'll
thought
see. He does
okay.
he did an interview with Swoop. It's not out yet, but we have.
Got
He
it.
expressed interest in being
did.
on the show. That's why I
Oh,
asked.
he initiated.
Yeah.
It.
He
did.
Okay, never mind.
He said something like it'd be nice if he could come because, he really got fucked by all this.
Yeah.
I would love a H3 Josh
Oh, I
interview
would
beyond words.
To talk
would
with
also.
Josh.
Josh. All right, if you want to go to the next.
But it also
slide.
seems like Josh has matured a lot and, he's owning
Yeah.
He can still defend himself.
social
When we
media.
read the apology, I was confused because it was like it does, like you guys pointed out, it seems like the Johnny guy kind of used the apology as a way to boost his
Yeah.
claims or everything. But there was nothing in the apology that really seemed directed towards the grooming stuff. But the
Kim
exploiting
Kardashian.
his enthusiasm as a fan. And
He touched on the
he
two
touched
things
on that.
that I have a problem with,
Right,
which is
yeah.
the phone number and the social media.
right.
Dan's kind of
Which is-
slaying.
Yeah, definitely crossed lines there.
This
Dan's
is very-
eating.
This is where Ethan is so lost. No, I'm not. I am not lost.
No, I think you seem pretty
on
informed
it.
so far.
Come
to
on.
where
On
we're
it.
at.
Don't talk about me like that. All right.
Oh,
now,
keep watching. Keep watching the CIA clip.
Okay.
Oh,
I
here's a-
messaged-
This one?
Interesting detail from the chat about the Sarah Ridiculous account, however you spell that. There was a parody account, and Josh wanted whoever ran that to run his Sarah Ridiculous account.
Dan,
Person
you're kind of slaying.
Johnny.
H3
Johnny
account.
had a Sarah Ridiculous parody.
According to this chatter, yes. And so,
And apparently, from what we sound, he was the only person following.
Why is Dan giving mother? Dan's mother card has renewed.
Yeah. And it seems to me
that I mean, still not a good decision. That makes it make more sense than just randomly deciding, hey, I want you to run this account for me. If
doesn't make
there
it a
was,
lot
like, already
better,
a connection there.
Yeah, at least explains some motive. But it seems like, and this is just what I'm speculating with incomplete facts still, that Josh was in good faith trying to validate Johnny's feelings in those apologies. And then Johnny really exploited those. It's very interesting. So I'll keep
Someone said in the chat, it's like you guys hiring love.
A shot of their text exchange about Sarah D, but then my team and I noticed that the open text window he's showing has an iPhone file name at the top, indicating that this was a screenshot that was taken with his phone, which then made us think he has access to his old messages with
Swoop!
Josh on his phone, took a screenshot of it, put it on his old computer, and then took a photo of it all together to make it look like he
What's
could
on the
only
menu?
access
'Cause
it on
Dan
his
is
old
serving.
computer, not his phone. Then we looked even closer. The iMessage window that is open behind it, that has the exact same...
This is me right now watching her explain.
Look at you. You look like Donna.
Yeah, I'm doing the Donna.
That's a screenshot of the Sarah D conversation in his messages with a
Yeah, this part
larger
was
blue bubble
crazy.
under it, meaning Johnny has sent this same screenshot of his messages with Josh to someone else. I don't know who, doesn't matter.
Swoop! Swoop!
But I still couldn't shake the suspicion that he's lying about having easy access to all of his old messages. So I looked even closer. Okay, so stay with me, okay, Detective Swoop. Okay, we're doing this. So when you
I'm with you, girl.
So
zoom in on
with you
this
right now.
I'm with her.
Locked in.
I am. I'm locked in.
Girl, I'm with you forever.
screenshot he sent, you can see this shape. It's a dark silhouette of a tree on a mountain. How do I know this?
And then who walks in?
She's brilliant.
There's no such thing as a coincidence. It's a picture of him in the
No,
background.
there's no such thing
Years
as a
before
coincidence.
TikTok existed. He's
Because
a
it's
time
the
traveling
default
vampire.
Mac El Capitan
El
operating
Capitan,
system
I was gonna say,
desktop
Swoop
image.
knows
Yes,
what
I'm a thorough
OS is,
bitch.
girl.
Hold the phone, girl. You did not.
Say that's El Capitan.
You did not. Hold on. Let me go back one more time.
I was gonna say
You
that was
did
El Capitan.
not right now just El Capitan us.
Detective Swoop, okay, we're doing this. So when you zoom in on the screenshot he sent, you can see this shape. It's a dark silhouette of a tree on a
Girl.
mountain. How do I know this? Because it's the
Swoop
default
graduated
Mac
from the
El
University
Capitan
of
operating system
Survington.
desktop
Fucking
image.
got
Yes,
him.
I'm a thorough bitch, and I
You
Obsessed.
swoop de doop de doo.
Oh, I love that.
remember when I saw this before in Johnny's post of the Trisha Paytas nude pics that he made on Twitter. When you
Petty
zoom in,
University
you
with
can
a
see
major
that
in
identical
serving.
tree shape in the desktop background, and the iMessages bar has the same green half gradient at the top. I believe these to be the messages displayed on that same old computer. Now, here's where
What?
things get really
It's
John
complicated. Keep
told
watching.
me that
Keep going.
he had sent a private apology video to Ella apologizing.
Who's Ella?
Ella is the girl who Johnny alleged Colleen said was faking her illness to get close to her. Do you remember that?
Say that again.
One of Colleen's fans is chronically ill, and
Yes.
Colleen apparently would say like she's faking
She's
it to get close
faking
to
it.
me. And
To Johnny.
And actually, the way that Johnny let that information slide was also insensitive. He just posted it publicly for Ella to find out.
Right, I remember.
Yeah.
At the time, people were angry.
Yeah.
Like, gee, well, fucking.
Yeah, like you didn't.
How does that make her feel suddenly
Yeah.
without even asking her? True.
Yep.
So, did Colleen actually say that though?
I mean, she did have a character.
For when he and
yes, in
Colleen were-
her podcast, she said that she knew people like that. I don't know if it was about Ella, but she said that she knew people like that.
But-
I believe it.
I'm just gonna watch.
bullying Ella behind
Shout
my
out
back.
Ella.
I asked
Love
to
you.
verify it, and he sent me 2 clips. The first was him filming a computer that had the old messages pulled up, where he's scrolling through the messages and giving
He sent me
commentary
this
to
video,
Ella
too.
about those messages. This was odd because in the
Hold
video,
on.
the computer is clearly different. It looks to be like an iMac or
He
at least
sent me
an Apple
this.
display, and you can see the background is different. That's a sandy beach scene with sand at the bottom and clear blue water at the top. And the iMessages window is in dark mode, not the...
He literally sent me this video too.
I just want to say, first off, I'm shaking right now. I don't feel comfortable showing you this, but you also deserve to see this. I know you know Colleen's number. I know you know this is real. On December 2nd, 2018.
He's like showing Colleen's number here, which is the only reason I'm not letting you see it.
OMG, breaking news. Freckles are gone, and she references herself as she again. And I say, oh honey, I literally can't keep up. She's a new person every other week, which I am so sorry about. That is beyond disgusting. And and I was making fun of you. I'm sorry. I posted freckles on my face, photoshopped, and she put bah ha 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 ha. That is nasty. I am so sorry. I'm like shaking. That's horrible. God, I'm so sorry for that. You didn't deserve that, but you deserve to be validated in this situation. I'm so sorry for the comment making fun of your identity. That was so unfair, especially knowing how that feels. That was cruel, and I'm just really sorry.
So Johnny sent me this and was like, oh no, I feel awful, like, should I have done it or should I not have done it, whatever. And I messaged my friend, and my friend was like, oh my god, like, my friend was like, there's no such thing as the perfect victim, so be easy on him. And I sent a message, and I was like, something along the lines of like, oh, well, it's out there anyway, like, Ellen needed to find out, or something like that was like my thing, because my friends were like, well, there's no such thing as a perfect victim. So to know that Johnny wasn't a victim, you know what I mean? And just did that to spite. It's like
he could send me his text messages with Josh, and he blamed the old computer again.
All right.
So, but did we ever get the Ella conversation?
That it wasn't super. I mean, it was horrible, but it's not super relevant to.
Just because it is really demon shit, what Colleen to make fun of, to be like, she's faking it to get close to me. He says she said that.
He does say that she said that.
But there's no proof of it.
No, he said in a text to Ella that he sent, and then it was published, he said that she was writing a screenplay about a girl.
Got it.
Yeah. And it was supposedly based on her.
That's so mean of him to do to her. Ella, that is. All right, are we swooping? Continue to swoop?
Yes, let's continue to swoop.
Let's swoop.
And it's tricky because...
Oh, fuck.
What?
I have a call with my hematologist at 4. He's really fast.
Oh boy.
I'm just hearing about this for the first time.
Well, I didn't expect that we'd be having so much.
Expect that we would.
I didn't know this was going to be such a swoopy scoop.
Basically, if you were confused by
why is
that
Dan
question,
kind of
very quickly, it was all to show that Swoop
My
was
guy.
able to determine that Johnny was editing screenshots when he was sending them to her, and he was not being truthful about what he had access to.
Wait, editing it how?
Like when that same green bar thing, he was using the same like stencil for his screenshots. And he had different screenshots from different computers where he said that, like, I don't have access.
That's pretty shady.
What was that?
The last time I talked to my hematologist, it was like for literally 2 minutes. So do you guys want to listen? That's such a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, I know. Thanks for watching, everyone.
No, but I'm not going to end it.
But But it's just...
I got to talk to my doctor.
I agree, but you scheduled it for 4 o'clock?
No,
Like,
that's all they had. I did it weeks ago. These people are hard to get.
Oh, so you're on their timetable.
I'm on their timetable.
Okay. I mean, that makes it a little bit...
Yeah, I didn't ask, yo, can you call me in the middle of my show? With 66,000 people watching. All right, you guys want to hear me with my doctor?
No.
Is it illegal? Am I breaking?
Well, no, but who knows what
Yeah, that's a clear HIPAA violation.
Everything's an open book.
I'll read some super chats or something. You go make the call.
I don't know about that, Dan. Can we do a poll? I can't imagine anything he could possibly say.
Well, they don't consent to being on the stream either.
Right. That's what I was curious about. 'Cause he's a
it's
dog.
baby.
It's just... No.
What about his HIPAA rights?
His HIPAA rights. Yeah,
Should we hear the call? No.
Let's do a poll, though.
A poll if we should secretly record this.
Why is it 50-50?
Probably.
Why is yes winning?
Kept that
What's the
to
poll?
yourself, my guy.
Should we hear the call? Yes or no?
Please vote no.
Well, no.
No.
Here's what I'll do, Dan. I'll put it to my ear so they can't hear him, but they can hear me. That's
They're
fine.
still gonna get picked up on the mic.
No. I'll make sure I'll make sure that they can't hear him.
How can you make sure?
And then if
You can't do that.
And then if you can hear, then I'll turn the volume down.
This makes no sense.
How does it not make sense? It makes perfect sense.
Because it literally can still hear. Okay.
It's so close to the mic. It's gonna be picked up.
No.
Put the microphone away a little bit.
Yeah, like this. They won't hear it.
Olivia, save us.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I got it 4. It's not even 4 yet. Can you call now?
Are you calling right now?
No, I just entered the chat because last time he was 5 minutes early.
It's a Zoom call?
No, it's via their website.
Oh.
It's secured. That's why I'm broadcasting at 66,000 people. It's secure, don't worry.
It's a secure line.
What are you doing?
Ethan, come on, dude.
What do you want from me, dude? This is my life.
Yeah, it's your life.
Exactly.
And my life. Oh no, that's my alarm. Okay.
You have your alarms unmuted, dude?
Olivia, save us.
No. I had it. Okay, it's starting.
Just put the mic away.
Olivia, save us. What?
He's playing games on his phone.
I saw rheumatology and we did a ton.
What is going on?
I saw the radiology.
Well, I don't hear the voice.
What is going on?
All right.
No, I can't hear anything.
Ethan, pull the way down.
Any body language experts in the audience?
Not this.
All right.
Ethan Klein, this is your life. Ooh, some coloring book.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, well,
Hey, can you show
you
us
know
a
what?
little bit more of that shit?
Let me mute this a second, but let me say something. Okay, so my take on this right now is, like, where do we go from here? This was something I was going to bring up at the end, but where do we go from here in terms of Johnny threatening a follow-up statement? You know what I mean? Like, Johnny was like, whenever he was saying about his stream or his statement, right? He was like, oh my God, Sam's here. Sorry, I just see they pop up Sam on the screen. Have all this staff been here the entire time? Remember, he was like, my next statement or whatever, I'm going to reveal the truth. There's nothing to. At what stage do you just like deplatform yourself? At what stage do you just like fuck off? You know what I mean? At what stage do you get married to Cody Tyler and have many babies and live happily ever after? You know what I mean? But like, chat, what do we think? Is he gonna come back and fight it or not? Give me your honest. I look tired right now. Holy shit, my eyes are like glassy. You know what I look like? I look like I've taken an edible or something, and I can quite literally promise you that I am the complete opposite because I would not be able to speak right now, and I'm also 2 Red Bulls down. But for some reason, I look absolutely fucking tired. His ego is huge, so he's gonna try to fight it. He does not know how to not be on the internet. He'll try to sneak his way out of it. Or snake his way out of it. I don't think there's any of that incoming, I'm going to be honest. But also, there's not really a climate where people are gagging for Johnny on social media, so it's not really a loss to the internet or to the world, honestly, if Johnny isn't going to be tweeting. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. He'll be laughed off. He got his 15 minutes. He's a narcissist. Of course, he'll try and fight it. Check his famous birthdays. Johnny has a famous birthdays? Johnny Silvestri. Famous birthdays. He's not on here. Are you? He's not on here. But thank you so much for letting me know that, even though he's not on it. Like, if you think as well, he came out with the... I'm not going to play it because he's going to strike my video, but do you remember whenever I came out with the high video, the ukulele video, and he immediately came out with a video where he's, like, playing the piano or something, and he was taking it seriously? Oh my god, it was one of the most cringy things I'd ever seen in my entire life. That's the only reason I didn't share it. Like, he literally recreated Colleen's video. Well, I didn't want to recreate the video because the video is cringy, and to recreate it is going to be even cringier. So the video I did was responding to her with a song, but clearly doing it bad. When you come out, Johnny came out and he made his own song, and he took it so seriously, and like, I couldn't even take my one seriously. So to take it seriously and write a song like he did, I didn't watch it, and I don't think I can. I'm going to be honest, that's not something you're going to miss out on. At all. That's not something you're missing out on at all. What is my information on famous birthdays? Does it say groomed by Colleen Ballinger? Because every other fucking news site says that. Let's see. Okay, 20 years old, true. Derry, true. September 30th, true. YouTube personality and content creator who is known for publishing pop culture and celebrity gossip videos, has more than 360K, oh my goodness, on the platform. He shares fashion and lifestyle content on his Instagram account. Ooh, fashion and lifestyle. Me and Gomez, shout out Gomez. You tried to kill Milo, but shout out to you. He began his career as a content creator in late 2015. Not true. One of his oldest archive videos is a reaction to Focus by Ariana Grande. His most popular video is 2020 video titled Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. That's not true. He is the owner of 3 cats. That's also not true. That is not true. Look at all these people from Derry. Love her. And her as well. Oh my god, Lisa McGee, who wrote Derry Girls. Wow, a lot of information not true about me on there. Love it.
And he thinks it's causing some kind of
We're back.
Inflammation in my blood.
Not Andre Quintana. Is he back on Instagram?
So,
Has he unblocked me yet? Has he unblocked me?
Next week I'll do a live call with my rheumatologist.
Great.
Could they hear anything or no?
I muted your mic.
Yeah, after the first
Once I realized,
oh my god, everyone came back with food.
Looking at a video of him, and that I was gonna have to do it on speaker.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
I got you. I got it, bro.
Hey, Alfredo.
Oh my god, September 30th
not
birthday.
That many people left, only like 200, so that's fine.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. We're almost done.
We're in the home stretch.
So,
But mostly, yeah, nothing to report back, really.
oh, good.
Well, that's good. Congrats.
No news is good news.
I have something to report back. This pie is fucking.
Where'd that pie come from, bro?
I'm so excited. Good. You like it?
Where did you get that pie?
Let's go.
Sam gave it to me.
And Sam, did you bring enough for the class?
Would you like a piece of pie?
What kind of pie is it?
Pecan.
The best.
Yes, I want pecan pie, dog.
Yeah, that pie is bussin'. That's just one of the best pies I've ever had.
I'm a little bit flustered in my H3 lore. Who's dating who? AB and Lena, Sam and Ian, Dan and someone who doesn't work on the team, right?
They stick the needle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's to test for cancer. for blood cancer. But he says he doesn't think we need to do it right now.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, I think I got most of them. There's no one else dating, right?
Bone marrow biopsy. That's a bad vibe.
Ian and Sam, AB and Lena, Dan and Zach,
Well, yeah, he said I don't.
Date people. Oh my god, I was supposed to say Dan and Zach. Work.
Someone says I'm about to float towards the pie. All right, we're gonna need some pie for this to finish
Okay.
this off.
Oh man.
All right, so where were we?
So,
Olivia?
if you go to the next slide, Swoop. The next one.
Okay.
Swoop tries to clarify 3 different times to get a very clear answer from Johnny of how he believes he was groomed by Joshua Evans.
So be specific. She's
Yes,
saying.
she is saying.
Tell us.
My
more.
mic is fierce, though.
And
I
then
will
just,
give
like,
myself
have a
credit there.
soundbite.
The mic
Please
is
tell me.
fierce.
Blah, blah,
Okay.
blah.
Okay, this is interesting.
Here's the truth. We got over an hour and a half into our conversation, and Johnny hadn't made any concrete allegations against Joshua David Evans, except that he was a predator and sinister. I was trying to give him time while also needing a more solid answer to work with if my team was going to invest.
I'll be honest. When I was talking to him, I had the same feeling, but I didn't feel like it would be appropriate for me to be like,
It's valid.
how were you groomed?
I also think that was very apparent when Ethan was interviewing him.
Not in that context.
Yeah,
Right.
no, this she had 6 hours. She had.
Okay.
You were on a live show. That totally makes sense to me.
Right.
Investigate on his behalf. Now, full transparency, I had to ask Johnny respectfully at least 3 times in the 6-hour interview.
Jennifer says, I have cancer right now and it sucks. I can imagine. I mean, well, I can't imagine. Well, Jennifer.
You might not have to imagine.
Get in there. Jennifer, fuck that cancer in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Oh, another thing related. We paid off the medical bills, right? We did. Speaking of which, because last time I was talking to my doctor, I said I was going to pay off one person's medical bills. We chose 3 people that emailed us.
Well, a lot more than 3 people emailed us, but
Of the people that emailed it, we paid 3. Just say their names so that, because I don't want to.
No, let's.
Their first name.
Oh,
just so they can know that to check. I don't know. Just a first name.
1 second.
But yes,
That's
3 of
sweet.
you we did. I guess send money to cover it. So thank you guys.
Julia, Daisy, and Desiree were the 3.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you guys, and everybody else. I'm so sorry. And if we can get Sam's Jeep fund going, I saw that clip come up on my feed of when we were raising money for Sam's Jeep, and we were talking about how kids with cancer can't pay their bills. It's pretty funny. So I was saying, I'm so sorry I couldn't pay all your bills, but the good news is we did raise like $20,000 for Sam's Jeep.
Sir.
Not good?
It's not.
Oh, really?
Should I button it?
No. Go on. Whatever.
Well, I'm just trying to make a joke. I mean, shit, I can't
We
pay
made the joke
everybody's
before.
bill.
You probably should have kept that to yourself.
I agree.
God damn it, tipster.
I agree with tipster.
I'm just trying to make a joke. I wish I could pay all your guys' bills. I do. All right, swoops.
Let's get back on topic.
Where were we?
If he would explain exactly.
Oh yeah, I'm in my Mr. Beast era, guys. I need to make a video about it though. I sent a camera to everybody's house that I paid off their medical bills. They didn't care about the medical bills, so I bought them a jet ski. Thank you, Sam. This looks amazing. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god.
The freaking pie!
Holy fuck.
It's
It's
good,
warm.
right?
It's so good.
Oh my god, she heated it up.
Wow.
Yeah. They really put it over the top.
Eating signs.
The best vegan pie.
All right, let's watch.
If he would please just explain exactly how he was allegedly groomed by Joshua David Evans. I don't like having to ask anyone this, and I even asked Johnny multiple times if I had his consent to ask these tough questions. The questions may not always feel comfortable, and just know that I am not here to make you feel overwhelmed in any way. If you need to take a break, or if there's something that you're like, you know what, I'm done with that question, move on. Just let me know.
His smug little fucking smile pisses me off.
Kind of according to you. I would like to begin to shift into Joshua Evans. His first answer went on a 10-minute tangent that ventured into Trent, Colleen, and Corey, two of whom Johnny directly told me did not groom him. So I asked Johnny to explain for a quicker soundbite. You have obviously said that you believe that Josh groomed you.
Yes.
Can you just give me a summary of exactly what Josh did that has made you feel that way?
Josh has an ego.
Yeah, I agree.
A massive one.
Just why are you
It's one
smiling
that I
like
can
that?
pinpoint and address, not even knowing the dude on a personal level to this day. He took the power that he had over me, and it turned into this god complex where I think to this
God
day,
complex?
he has this
Josh?
huge idea that he was being a mentor. He was a dude pushing 30 who
You're pushing 30! Bitch!
Kid,
You're
and he
almost
wasn't
28!
that. We did the Harlem Shake video. We filmed a little goofy, stupid
Oh my
video on my
God.
channel. There was a contest. we
Johnny
did
is
once.
pushing
There were
30.
like maybe 8 of us who submitted videos. I won, and my prize was a ball of duct tape. It's just the
My prize was a pair of sexy lingerie. Johnny, I win. Johnny 2 can play the one-up game. I win.
Wow.
Seriously, like, does he know how that reads? And that's what he did.
To recap Johnny's
I
answer.
mean, he could have said
Johnny, hear how ridiculous that sounds? That's how you signed it for months.
was using me to do stuff like the Twitter. That's
Yeah.
probably the only valid one that I know of he could have said.
But I'm sure he
But he
said
didn't even
that.
think about it.
Yeah.
As to exactly how Joshua allegedly groomed him, he said, Josh has an ego, a god complex. He thought he was a mentor. He was pushing 30 and leached. They created unoriginal trending Harlem Shake content at the auto show his whole family showed up at, and that Johnny entered a contest
Not
for
the
a
duct
ball of duct tape and won a ball of duct tape that he still has.
Pretty good prize.
Gently.
I'd prefer that over the fucking sexy lingerie.
Conversation around the auto show. Josh was like so not inviting. He was so short with his answers.
Yeah.
I asked him multiple times and tried to get a concise answer. Here's what he said, and I will sprinkle in the additional context that was left out. Again, if you could.
Wow, her eyeliners or her eyeshadows always really slay, right?
I just want to kind of nail
I
down
love it.
exactly, specifically what you think were the kind of the exact
Hold on,
things
I'm just
that
pulling something
Josh
up.
did that leave you
What is that
feeling
noise?
like you were groomed.
Yeah, so first and foremost, giving a 16-year-old your phone number unprovoked.
Full context.
Your parents
that we
were
know,
there.
Johnny had mentioned to Josh that he was depressed around this time. Joshua said he would mentor Johnny, and Josh gave his phone number in front of Johnny's parents while Johnny was networking. Johnny showed the number to his parents, and they were excited that maybe he was getting his big break. They literally said, our kid's doing the damn thing.
Our kid's doing the damn thing.
Leeches!
Hanging out with the person one-on-one.
The instances they hung out were always in public, and most.
So, did they ever hang out one-on-one?
So he says to Swoop that they hung out one-on-one at a Starbucks at
That's
the
when
auto
he came
show.
out, right?
At the auto show, which was
Someone from
inside
Manchester
of
just
the
bought this hoodie.
center in the
Weird.
Starbucks, surrounded by people, and his parents weren't with them at the Starbucks, but they were at the event.
And that's where he came out to him?
No, that's the auto show. That's when he says that they hung out alone.
Okay. Because it sounds like the time he came out to him,
That
they
was
were
in
also
LA.
alone.
They
had to have been, right?
You know what? I want to triple check.
I like them too.
This sucks because, like, you never want to have to question people like this,
I know.
but
I was in public. Both times were in public.
Black or that?
yeah, in public
Let me order
spots.
these.
I mean, it can still be grooming even though it's like in public, private, whatever. Just to be specific, I feel like. Or,
Right.
Because it's not, he mentioned it's grooming but not sexual, which, sure, grooming can be non-sexual, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be grooming.
No, I know. Just trying to be thorough.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get the details straight.
Because how old was he when he was alone with him? 15, 14?
At the auto show, I think
Their first
17,
DM, he
but
was
I need
16.
Sorry, I'm writing in my information.
when he came out to him in LA, he was 19.
Oh, okay. Well, that's...
I want to know the context of him coming out to
I mean, just based
Josh.
on the messages we saw.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It seems like a stretch, and it sucks because
Yeah, it's weird.
you
Tricky.
never want to question it. It feels so bad to question it, right?
Right.
Often when Johnny's family members were with him, and the remaining time when Johnny was an adult.
Having conversations about our personal lives, getting to know
came
me on
out-
an intimate level.
He came out to Josh at a show in California at the end of the meet and greet.
Not during the meet and greet.
Okay.
Fast forwarding to today, I feel more confident to say I was groomed.
If there were conversations about their personal lives on an intimate level, Johnny has not shared these with me or seemingly anybody. If there is more, I wasn't able to get it in the 6-hour interview.
And the
This man
other ones she did
repeatedly
too.
told all of you who asked him to explain how he was groomed, he always deflected by tweeting things like, "I don't have to explain myself again, listen to Swoop." Well, thanks for listening to what Johnny said in that instance, because hi, Swoop here. I think this man is full of shit and a victim blamer, allegedly. After Johnny told me,
I'm not
before
gonna say it
about
allegedly.
having
I want to
a
go to the
big
next
ego-
one.
Yeah.
We're heading toward the end. We're about to get to the crush theory and then his statement, and then my, I have more mementos that I found.
I mean,
from my
just based on what we've seen, and it is possible that we haven't seen everything, although Johnny certainly has an interest in sharing anything that would support his theory, it's not even close to grooming.
It's not.
Definitely is troubling compared. I mean, based on like what he said.
It's not
before
grooming.
around This evidence, it's definitely. It does not line up.
I mean, it's inappropriate. It is. There was an inappropriate
Yes.
boundary.
I'm seeing a lot of H3 chat saying Johnny is a
When
stalker.
it came to actually
He definitely gives it.
conversation,
He definitely gives it.
Keep him at an arm's length.
And keep in mind, we saw like evidence of Colleen engaging sexually with minors, and after those came to light, he still said what Josh did to him was possibly worse.
Right. The implication
Yes,
is fucked
it's
up.
it's so dangerous.
Because you could just be like, yo, it's fucked up what Josh did. Like, he had me doing his Twitter. He gave me he was texting me. And you'd be like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then to go further with
Yeah, I don't think enough people are talking about the Swip did that donation in his name.
His response. Like he was on Twitter saying like he needs to answer for what he did.
Look at the little doggy in the background.
You're lying about stuff.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think we could say, based on what we saw, inappropriate,
Okay.
but not grooming.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's important that we make these distinctions too, because I feel like a word like grooming is losing its meaning a little bit here.
Okay, Johnny Silvestri is not going to make grooming lose its,
I know
thing.
definitions can change. I understood grooming as like what priests do to kids.
Yes.
It's like the lead up to essay of children. Like it's really
Exploiting, yeah.
It's
Somebody
like
just-
really serious. It's
Somebody just gave the definition with the $20 super chat, coincidentally, just now.
which is grooming definition. Grooming refers to action or behavior used to establish an emotional connection with the minor and sometimes the child's family to lower the child's inhibitions with the objective of essay. So, the way I understood it, had a very specific meaning, and that meaning is like heinous. It's basically equal to leading up to actual assault of a child, and so when the meaning when the word gets distilled a little bit, I think it's confusing because you're saying he groomed you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Josh ever took advantage of Johnny, considering their only interactions Josh's family were present for, and were actually the ones that were almost like harassing Josh,
Because that's not grooming.
stalking
as I
him,
understand it,
bothering
it's
him.
confusing because it conjures this feeling of, the deepest possible crime you could commit, which is abusing a child, lying to a child.
And to possibly like water down the stories of the other victims that are in this, or like potentially washing out their own experiences with his story and his proven lies. It's really, I feel very bad for Adam and Oliver and Becky and everyone's stories who were.
Love you, Olivia.
They were real victims.
Yeah.
And Johnny has been actively trying to suppress those, like Adam's story.
Really?
Like
Well, he said that his story was more important.
Yeah,
remember?
he tried to make his story more important. I feel like there's two issues here. Him being kind of like rude
Love you,
against
love.
all these other victims, trying to like stomp them down, and then also, what's his name?
Adam?
Oliver.
Joshua?
Yeah, being kind of inappropriate with this child.
Yeah.
Like that's a separate, not grooming probably, at least to the standard definition, but at the very least, like kind of exploitative of a child.
Yeah.
False hope, making him work for free is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Giving his phone number is very weird. Like there's a lot of
Is inappropriate. Listen,
shit
and
he's done.
inappropriate with.
You can have inappropriate, but not grooming. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't need to elevate.
Yeah, the grooming part
Exactly.
is unnecessary. Yeah.
But right.
I feel like there's two issues here. Him kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But so should we as, people online or people.
Oh my God, Josh just tweeted, "Hey Olivia, just sent you a follow-up."
Should we open the word grooming?
I wonder if she's seen it.
All this different stuff, or should we,
Oh, she messaged me.
try to be more specific because it's way too broad, and I think
Okay.
it's.
Let me message her.
Especially
Josh
in an environment
tweeted
where,
you,
on
sister.
the flip side of all of this, it is also a term that is
Olivia has been
frequently thrown
informed.
around in reference to like teachers that are LGBTQ friendly,
Right.
and trans activists and all of this.
Right.
Like we're in an environment where the meaning of that is already being diluted for nefarious purposes constantly, and we don't need more
A great point, Dan.
piling on and just
Great
kind of
point.
the waters of what we're really talking about here.
Right.
Great point,
Well,
Dan.
they use it in the worst sense of the word.
Mhm.
They do think that, they're trying to fuck the kids or something.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be useful to be careful with how we use the word grooming, but I know language tends to, change, and that's just what it is sometimes.
That is true.
Grooming also means, to cut your beard.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about that?
I'm going to go to manscaped.com and use code H3.
There it is.
AdamandEve.com using code Adam50.
Manscaped.com/
AdamandEve.com code Adam50.
Ooh.
No good?
No.
I mean, it's literal. I'm just being literal. Get groomed.
That's
Ooh.
No good? Nah.
okay. If you want to move.
So are we here? We're moving on.
Where I
Yeah.
decided
So
to give
we're-
Johnny another moment.
We're moving to the crush theory. This is the timestamp that the Reddit thinks is most pertinent when it comes to that.
Right here.
Did you click on the crush theory link?
Let me go to the PowerPoint presentation. To the crush theory. Is it the next slide?
Yeah.
The crush theory. Okay, this is that Johnny.
I was about to say, what's the crush theory? But, him being in love? Yeah, he is. Sorry. I think he still is.
At all, but as Johnny has
God, her
coming up
eyeshadow is
multiple
so
times across countless
I want to say the
media
word
platforms
so bad,
and
but I
attached
can't
to
say it on here.
accusations,
See
it
you
would be
next
irresponsible
Tuesday.
for me to not
So
at least mention it here. In reality,
funty.
I was deeply troubled by the thought that Joshua could have discouraged him or anyone for coming out, so we had to investigate.
I agree. That was really a weird moment when he talked about his reaction. So it's good to look a little deeper into that.
It is.
Josh may have allegedly responded that way when he was indicating that.
Like even here too, every day.
Parents. Did he explain?
She is booked and busy in that makeup chair. She looks
They were
good.
gonna kick me out and disown me for being gay because I grew up in a very Catholic, conservative household. Loosely, it's like traditional, if you will.
Do you think that he was trying to say it in a protective way, like, I don't want you to get hurt by your parents?
I don't know. He knew my parents, so like just
Or because your parents stalked him.
If it was a situation where he was like, I don't know how to handle this, if he thought I had some crush on him.
What does loosely traditional mean?
He says he knew his parents, but based on what we've sent, they've sent like 20 DMs. He barely knows him.
Well, his
parents showed up.
him to his show.
Like they didn't talk about his family once in the messages we saw.
Yeah. We'll know more after the interview drops. And if we get to talk to him, yeah.
Assume you're attractive enough for me to have a crush on you, Mr. David Evans.
Hold on, back
Able
up.
to assume you're
This
attractive.
part
You
was
know how to
so
handle this.
bitter.
You thought I had some crush on him. Bold to assume you're attractive enough for me to have a crush on you, Mr. David Evans.
Where did that come from?
That was so fucking cringy!
Because he never mentioned that originally.
Oh, so cringy!
Okay.
And that's not even like bagging on him for his looks. He's clearly an attractive dude.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is that enough to say uh-oh to?
It is. I said it for you.
No.
Uh-oh!
What do you mean he's a 27-year-old?
But the personality is what does it for me. And he ain't got the one that I'm attracted to.
You sure?
I don't know about that. Everyone
I
in
asked Joshua about his side of the coming out
He came
story.
out to him when he was 19.
Yeah, we're good.
Fair thing to do here, which I will share with you later. But for right now, out of respect, I'm going to let this story live where it is. So we'll move on. Let's back up
Yeah,
for a
that's just.
I can't wait to get this
that's a
hoodie.
potential theory that's
I like
moving
it.
on the Reddit, so I felt that.
It's true. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it.
There's almost no other explanation.
Yeah.
At least like there was some romantic feelings on his
so
side.
pretty.
It could.
Which is why he then
Like
which is why he then confided so much talking shit with Colleen, you know what I mean?
I kind of lean that way as well, but just to be fair, like we haven't.
Why is Dan eating in this episode? He's
Doesn't
slaying.
seem like he just wanted to get close to him.
He did though, right? Because he worked for her.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I don't remember how that came to be.
He said that after the divorce, he kind of, he sided with Colleen because Josh stopped engaging.
Which is the right thing to do, by the way.
And he was also struggling like immensely. He quit like 3 days after they announced their divorce. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about Johnny.
It's a weird thing to say.
And no one's thinking about Johnny.
Trying to groom me as a bad thing.
Right. So not long after Swoop released this, Johnny put out a note statement on Twitter.
Johnny said on Twitter, "Betrayed is an understatement. My trauma was used against me today in a way I never imagined would happen. I was given guidance and a safe space to share my
It's like the Jamie Lee Curtis trauma.
So vulnerable and honest.
Trauma. Anyone know the compilation of Jamie Lee Curtis being like trauma?
Explanation right now.
Trauma.
Feel so hurt and disregarded.
Generational
You claim to stand
trauma.
for victims, and what you did today is the polar opposite. You have no regard for
Anyone
my
know
life,
that clip?
trauma I faced, my safety,
Oh, you
and the
do.
safety of
Trauma.
so many others involved.
Trauma.
You
Generational
completely shifted the narrative while
trauma.
making sure to promote your merch and fabricate a story for some extra revenue.
It's a movie about
disgusted by
trauma.
I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to every one of your heinous allegations about me via Notes app, but I will be making a proper statement regarding all of these disgusting
Boo, we don't care.
This is 100% character assassination. I won't stand for it. Swoop, you encouraged me and made me feel like you were a massive source of trust. You chose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me rather than talking to him.
Leave me out of
about
it.
Which is scummy. You wanted information at your request as if I wasn't working full-time and in the process of moving.
Can we assume that Johnny will not be purchasing one of Swift's new hoodies
I
then?
know my truth and I will not stop sharing it because of people like you.
Swoop.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
how do we feel?
Well, he's consistent. He's being consistent.
Yeah.
That's what if
What, a consistent idiot?
if I'm Johnny and either I
Johnny,
believe
my
what I
gente
said is
está
true,
maloca.
or I'm
What
just
the
going with
fuck?
that,
Anyone know that song?
Then
Love that
the
song.
statement is basically, exactly what I would expect.
Good point. What more can you expect from him?
it's not an expectation. I mean, he doctored the fucking text messages. This case closed at that point.
Yeah.
True.
Like, you're a liar. You're manipulating the situation.
There should.
When I came to
if he
Spain
really did
and
that,
I saw
which
people
had no reason
partying,
to
I
like,
thought
that
to
would be
myself,
pretty wild.
what
Swoop
the
just
fuck?
made all that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the slam dunk that you're full of shit, dude. Like you.
Why is Dan's
you
takes
edited
really
the
good in
conversation
this?
to try and make it look worse than it was. But
I think the huge defensiveness, instead of being like, there were some points here that I'd like to clarify in a future statement. But like
no, it's 100% lies. So it's like, did Swoop just make that all up?
Swoop
just fabricated that entire thing about like the messages not matching up.
I guess Johnny wants us to think so.
I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Speak
I don't
on
know
it,
Swoop
sister.
that well, but I don't know.
Swoop would never.
I don't think Swoop would do that.
Swoop
I have
would never.
full
He
faith
would
in
literally
Swoop.
never.
Swoop would never lead us astray.
No.
Ever.
I mean, it's GG at that point. Like, what else is there even to say?
It's very
They just like flatly deny it. It's 100% untrue.
Oh, Dan's involved now. For the first couple episodes, he,
curious about his,
just wanted to sit out of it. He's involved now.
But
I love it.
It's not looking good for Johnny.
Right. So coming up, Swoop's next doc is an exclusive interview with Joshua Evans.
Alrighty,
And
Josh
the quote
interview.
is crazy.
Yo,
This part was
pretty intense.
crazy.
I have literally
I was
wondered.
at a bar whenever my mom texted me and was like, holy fuck, Josh is getting interviewed, and said the Colleen, went on the record that Colleen cheated with him. And I was like, no way. And then I went home and I was, okay, I'll talk after.
With David Evans.
I was shocked. Anyway.
Joshua, we have
Like-
a lot to talk about.
In person.
Mm-hmm.
So where does he live? Where does she live? Did
He
they
lives
travel
in
for this?
Georgia. I actually don't know where Swoop.
Devil went down to Georgia.
I'm
He was
assuming
looking for a
someone had
boat
to
to
travel
see.
for this.
I
Probably
said, sit
him.
down in
His
that
dad
chair right
set
there.
up.
And like, boy, let me tell you what. The boy said, my name's Johnny. And it might.
Have been levied against you, and we're going to get into those. But you have also alleged that you are a victim as well, a victim of abuse, and that's
Dude, the production value.
Pretty good.
Wonderful.
It feels like a
Good editing.
Dateline thing.
Pretty slick.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Although it's Swoop, just a piece of friendly advice at the beginning when you're doing the dramatic, like we're gonna slate this thing, like you got to get a clapboard. The hand clap thing.
not as good.
That's not frontline. That's
Also,
not
it would
2020.
it would tie it all together.
Mhm.
The clap.
If there was a clapper right there, ooh,
Should we send her a clapper and good
Maybe.
like as a friendly?
gift?
That'd be
Yeah.
cute.
Should we get you a clapper? A nice clapper.
Can even be
Diamond
custom. It
studded.
could say Swoop or something on it.
Oh my God, that'd
Swoop
be
clap.
There it is.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Please clap.
We'll work on that.
we'll work on that. Okay,
Sam, are you here?
I'm here.
she's here.
Can we? Do you think we can make like a bedazzled swoop? There it is, clapper.
Of course.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, it would be fun. I'm down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I've genuinely gaslighting is another term that I think is way overused and has a very specific meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that Johnny, if what we are seeing is all true, was gaslighting Josh into thinking that Josh really traumatized him and has
And
something to
Swoop
apologize
and the
for.
public.
Right.
When he was telling his story, he literally.
Not a clapper
He got
that says
Josh to
get
apologize
swipped.
for basically nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. He did fuck up. Josh did fuck up.
And it seemed like he directly addressed the places that
Like
we
4
identified where it
times.
looked like he fucked up were the things that he was addressing in that apology.
All right, let's see let's see this.
something that I and my team take very seriously.
So I went from the boyfriend to the fiance to the husband to now I started to feel almost like a character, like I was replaceable. But I looked at her.
No! No!
The ukulele! It's back!
Oh God!
Holy shit! Not.
I
Yeah, but
really
this
did not
line-
expect him to say it.
What he's about to say, I had to back up and rewatch it. I couldn't believe
The
that.
fucking yip!
Yup! Not this part.
Chat said the ukulele means trouble.
When you're effing Eric in our bed, I want you to think of me. I've lost everything. I lost
Are you kidding? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That he said that.
That's the first
Ethan
time
didn't
it's
catch it.
Absolutely cut and dry. Colleen cheated on Josh.
In their bed, he's saying.
He said when you're fucking Eric
I've been
in her
saying
bed.
it for
He did say that.
years.
Think about me.
I want you
oh,
to think
she's
about
not.
me.
She's not thinking about you.
Wait.
I think she was. She had her fans like tear him down on Twitter for years following.
Wait, I'm confused. He said.
See, Ethan
Said to
didn't get
Colleen,
it.
When you're fucking Eric, who she was cheating on him with, I want you to think about me.
Yeah, I'm saying she wasn't thinking about him.
Oh my god, Ethan.
Right.
She was thinking about
Ethan.
Eric's fucking new strange cock.
It just went over his head.
Uncouth.
It just went over his
We're getting
head.
some strange dick.
I don't know.
She actively tormented him for years after, though.
Was that really a full confirmation of that, Olivia? I think you might. be
No,
jumping to
no,
a
When
yes.
you're
there a little bit.
fucking Eric in our bed,
They're all. Olivia's the only one that got
Based
it.
on the smell.
Olivia's the only one that got it.
okay.
It wasn't like I caught her.
Interesting.
Because that's what I thought he was leading up to.
Oh my god,
That's
none
why
of
when he
them
dropped
have.
the ukulele line. I was shocked.
He might in the interview, and it certainly sounds.
None
like
of them have caught it like Olivia did.
But to say it's a full confirmation,
Okay,
still
okay.
not there.
Not
still
yet,
there.
not yet.
Leave the girl alone!
I jumped the gun. I was too.
Did it
I
happen?
had-
I'm commenting. Hold on.
Did it happen? It seems like.
I'm waiting for this
It
moment all
does
my
seem
life.
like that. If you, I include actually, I found more.
I commented and said, Olivia's right. Leave her
My
alone.
like Finsta, and I literally predicted like 2 days before they got divorced that they were gonna get divorced.
Really?
Yeah. If you go to the next slide.
I kind of know what he means. Like, if you keep going and you meet a fan, and it's like, oh, cool, nice to meet you. You know, you shake hands, you learn their name and stuff. But then they're always there, and then all of a sudden, like, it's becoming something. But I don't know, because he did talk with him on the phone. I mean, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Right.
I can't.
He did
Sorry.
engage.
Yeah, you
We'll
and
wait for the interview. Swoop does say that she grills him about the stuff that
I believe it. After
When
what
does
we
this
just
come
saw.
out?
this comes out. I think maybe next week.
Next week?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
You got to get that cool editing in there.
I mean, I want to watch it.
Me a little bitch. Everyone's like, poor Johnny. I can't believe John.
Yes.
Great.
I sat down with Joshua David Evans.
Okay.
For 7 hours, by the way.
7 fucking hours?
Yeah, John.
Beat that, Johnny.
6.
More embarrassing, Colleen versus Josh, Olivia mementos.
Okay, yes. So, I'm, by the way, being very hyperbolic in these
Uh-oh.
This was just my best friends. But I posted on September
She sent me a
26th.
couple of these today.
Just so everyone knows, these are my heroes. I think that they're getting a divorce. So if I'm sad, that's why. Cool. And then on September 30th, I posted, just so everyone knows, tonight is going to be a rough night for me. Actually, I'm not joking. What's up? Colleen and Josh are getting a divorce. I'm softly in Roha Sushi right now. I remember.
She's so real.
I remember very clearly.
She
I
is
was at
so
Roha Sushi,
fucking
and,
real.
I went to the bathroom because I saw that she had posted a video, or no, someone commented on my previous post where I said I think that they're getting a divorce, and they were like, "Did you see her new video?" And so I
The
ran to
comments being like, I'm here for you. I'm so sorry.
went back to the table and was just like, I can't believe this. I was right. And then my friends were like, "Aw."
Why? Okay, maybe it's.
God, this is so funny.
I'm a different kind of person, but I just got scared of that fucking pillow, dude.
So
Dude, that thing
funny.
was there. Yeah.
Every time I catch it out of the corner of my eye, I jump.
I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Talking about the one that Howie. gave
She's
me,
so
you know.
fucking real beyond words. Me and
I
Olivia would have
just
been
need-
best friends in the
Not
fandom.
defend himself, because it seems
There wasn't a
like he
climate
had,
for him to defend himself.
You know, a really easy way
There
to
wasn't.
defend himself. with
No,
the
she was
stuff,
so
cheated on me.
popular.
With the Johnny stuff, here's here's our whole conversation. There's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. Maybe he's just a different kind of
He
guy
couldn't
than
have
me,
done it.
but
I don't
Please.
know.
And he also tried speaking up,
maybe
and it
Also,
didn't
at
work.
the height of all the Colleen shit, right? And probably like coming out and against an accuser.
By the way, I'm not
right at that moment would have.
I'm not
more
saying that like
backlash.
it's evidence that he's lying or anything. I'm just
No. I mean,
from like
people handle it different
from my
ways.
perspective of how I would have handled that.
I mean, with hindsight, he probably shouldn't have posted. Well, I guess with hindsight, it actually is okay because now the truth is starting to find its way out.
So Olivia's crying in the club.
Right.
Here's another one.
This one was.
She sent me this one.
This is when Josh started posting videos again once he got sober. And I posted a screenshot of it and I totally forgot about it. I quoted him, "Life can be good, but you've got to choose it. I love you forever, Josh. If anyone hasn't kept up, he's finally doing better."
Nice.
I totally
Tears of
forgot
joy
about
in the
that.
club.
Yeah.
Crying in the club, but tears of
And
joy.
then my friend commented, Colleen is, at this point, I was still a fan of Colleen. This is right when Adam first came out with his story the first time.
This is like rage comic speak.
What?
She said
This is so crazy.
Les Snake. It's like French. She's a snake, basically. And I said, I'm having a hard time loving her still because I think she totally gaslit Josh's suffering. And also, I think she may have cheated with Eric. And now she's publicly has a baby with him. And Josh just went off the deep end. And my friend said, and did you see that drama with the 16-year-old? And I said, of course. Who do you think I am? I'm so mad Colleen hasn't responded. Pretending it isn't happening just seems so fake. Like, what else is she lying about not telling us? Hashtag I'm going off. I remember that. See, I had the suspicion forever.
You were right the whole time, just as you are now.
This is a secret I kept from everybody. I met Colleen Ballinger one time.
Okay, go on.
So my math teacher in high school knew that I really liked her, and her husband just so happened to be a writer on her Netflix show. Like, he was just one of the, like,
I thought you were gonna say the teacher
writing
bought tickets.
assistants or something. And so she invited me to the premiere to be her +1 date. I didn't take a photo with Colleen. I was too freaked out, but I had my friend take a picture of my feet before I, like, told her, hi, my name's Olivia.
Sounds like you were groomed by your teacher.
Yeah.
Or,
So that was when I met her. That's a photo I have.
can you read this?
Sure. My feet. My hero's feet. Colleen Ballinger stood next to her. By the way, this is not serious. I hope you all know. Accidentally told her sister Rachel her cousin's name. Don't worry about it. Which means that.
This is serious.
Nuh-uh.
What do you mean?
It's serious in that I was a huge
how is this
fan,
not
but not
serious?
that
Come
I
on,
was like.
girl.
Not that I was like.
Real.
I mean, I was happy to meet her.
Okay, read.
This is just supposed to be to, like, my best friends who knew I loved her. Accidentally told her sister, her cousin, her.
Olivia
cousin's
showing
name,
her
don't worry about it.
Finsta
Until Colleen,
is
she meant the world to
from
me. She said,
2016 is
"Beautiful."
fucking
When she
crazy.
left, I stood there. How do you decide what to say to somebody you know so well but doesn't know you at all? And then I said, I'm full of happiness.
And that's where the story ends.
Thank you. Have you ever met a celebrity you like? I feel like
Took
that's pretty
pictures
tame.
of your feet together?
My friend took that.
Marfeet.
Because I felt
Their
too disrespectful at her, like, own event, being like, can I please take a photo with you? And she was super busy.
Because you know she hates those fans.
But she's a groomer, so.
Swoopy's on here with the 2021 winner.
Oh.
Streamy Awards Creator Honor? What does that mean?
It means she's honorable.
Shout out Swoop.
You're not the only one. Swoopty doopty. I'm gonna have to get my olive branches, laurels.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
You guys have
incredible
guilted me into going to this fucking event.
Yeah. Have we announced that? Did we talk about it on Friday?
I think we did.
We're going to the Streamies, people. In person. And I'm not talking about Bizarro, Ethan. I'm talking about the real fucking deal. This man dragged his feet for
All right,
weeks.
we'll close it off.
Thankfully,
there.
Hila wears the pants in the relationship if she wants.
We'll leave it there. Johnny is going to be fuming. Johnny is so obsessed with H3 and was so obsessed with the fact that they were going to talk to him because, I mean, the first thing he tweeted whenever he went on H3 was about how many people were watching him. I think this is the thing that's like, I think this is more impactful for Johnny than anything because he is so enthralled with Ethan Klein validation and Ethan's audience that I don't know. Well, shout out most importantly to Olivia. Continues to do such an incredible job. have a lot of time for her and a lot of love for her. So shout out to Olivia. And yeah, that was really good. That was very long. That was very long, but it was really, really, really good. And yeah, shout out.